Good morning, everybody. Hi, welcome to the channel, which hasn't uploaded anything for a while. Hi. This is awkward. It is. I know. I hope the audio levels are gonna be fine, because I haven't done this in a long time. But hey, I'm back. I was ill. You know, the word that we don't use on YouTube. I couldn't upload anything, but now I'm back. And to what exactly? Just so that the element of justice, Turnabout 3 Case 1 Part 3 is out. That's a perfect time to come back, isn't it? I actually have 3 videos that I recorded in October, and I haven't done anything since then. I just have to upload them, so they are gonna come in this week, so don't worry about that. But now it is gonna be a reaction of continuation of the element of justice. I'm curious where this case is gonna go, because obviously we have the Hoof prints. We not really have enough evidence to blame it on Suri, if that's the right name, if I'm correct. But yeah, we are gonna watch Element of Justice. I don't know if we should start right now or not. If you are not here live, you can still watch this, obviously back when YouTube is done converting it, even though it's already on YouTube. So why would it need so much converting? I don't know. But I guess we don't need too much intro. We have watched the first 2 episodes, first 2 parts of the first case together, and now we are gonna continue with part 3. Are you guys ready? I am. To everyone who joins later on, it's nice to meet you. But let us start the actual episode. Right now. I can make this louder. February 12th, 11:30 AM, Manhattan District Court. We are back with Prince Blueblood.
Court will now reconvene. Prince Blueblood, has the police brought the results of the hoof print analysis?
Yes, they have, Your Honor.
Then please share your findings with the court.
Let me guess. It's my cheese. Yep, it's obviously my cheese.
Don't just stand there looking irritated. Say something.
It's just as the defense claims. The hoofprints don't belong to either the defendant or the victim.
So
Sir,
it's not an imaginary
They
third
really belong
party.
to one of the other contestants in that fashion contest?
Yes, well, just as Princess Twilight requested, we compared the prints found backstage and on the catwalk to those of the contestants. Apparently, some observant pony down at Forensics noticed that only one contestant has any connection to any pony involved in this case. We
Oh,
checked their prints first and found a perfect match.
Wow. Can I get that guy in all of my future cases, please?
that would be nice.
You actually found a match? Then please tell us, whose hoof prints are they?
The hoofprint analysis has concluded that the one who left those hoofprints at the time of the crime was a mare by the name of Suri Polomare.
Yep, sorry, Polomare.
Suri Polomare?
Wow,
Twilight was right after all.
who would have guessed, right?
We subpoenaed her during the recess. She has just arrived and is waiting in the witness lobby, Your Honor.
Then please bring her to the stand at once.
Hi again.
Name and occupation, please.
Name and occupation, please.
This is ridiculous.
Okay, ridiculous. What's your
I was in
occupation?
the middle of something very important, and then the police barged into my apartment and demanded that I accompany them to the courthouse. Some nerve.
Witness, I would appreciate it if you would state your name and occupation for the record.
Yep.
I need to finish my dresses before tomorrow. I'll be ruined if I don't finish soon. Can't you all see that I'm a very busy mare?
Nope.
You don't just drop in on some pony like me and take me away from my duties, okay?
Okay.
Witness, name, occupation.
Fine. Sorry, Polomare. I am a fashion designer.
Miss Polomare, are you aware of why you are called to the stand today?
No, I am not. The police who showed up at my apartment didn't tell me a thing.
You are called here because you are suspected of murdering a costume designer by the name of Overall Concept.
What? Murder? I did no such thing. I'm too busy dealing with my own problems to commit something so heinous.
So
I
heinous.
see.
Really, Your Honor? That's all you have to say to that?
Well then, does the defense have any objections?
Yes.
Shocking as it may sound, I do, Your Honor. Based on the analysis that the prosecution revealed, the hoof prints belong to Miss Polomare. She must have been the one who made them at the scene of the crime, which means she must also be the one who sold
And
the
also at the
Concept's
time of
special
the
fabric and murdered him.
Time of the murder. Yep.
Human is here to accuse me of something I didn't do. Don't make me laugh, okay?
Then how do you explain these hoof prints left behind? The analysis clearly shows that they're yours.
Now you listen here. I didn't commit any sort of theft or murder, but if it makes you feel any happier, I'll tell you what I was doing that night.
That's what we
You're
want.
actually going to cooperate?
It's not like any of you are giving me a choice. Besides, I'm in the middle of something very important, so the sooner I get out, the sooner I can get back to work.
That's true.
Well, we appreciate your cooperation, Miss Polomare. Now please testify as to your whereabouts at the time of the incident.
Tell us your lies, please. Where were you?
I guess I can't really hide this. I was indeed at the play that night. It was during the intermission that I went to the dressing room to meet up with Coco. As soon as the second act started, I took a casual walk backstage. I went up the catwalk, walked across, and went back down on the opposite side. I then went out the back door and left the theater before the incident happened.
Are you sure about that?
So,
Nope.
you admit that you were actually at the theater.
Don't act so surprised. I never denied that I was. Now look, I am in a hurry right now. I've said what happened. Can I go home now? I have more important things to do, okay?
Then you better hope I don't find anything that makes you stay longer.
Indeed,
Yeah, a
Mr. Knight.
lot of things are
You may now
problemful here.
cross-examine the witness.
We have proven last time, in the second part, that the hoof prints were left behind at the time of the murder.
I guess I can't really hide this. I was indeed at the play that night.
Hold it! You said you were busy earlier. Were you also this busy on the night in question?
No?
Of course I was. I'm currently in a fashion contest and the dresses need to be finished soon. I'm not done yet, so I need all the time I can get to finish them. Like the time you're all wasting right now.
Is the contest really that important?
To you?
course it is.
Yes?
This contest can make or break a designer's career.
If this contest is such a big deal, why did you go to the theater?
I needed a break. I felt going to the theater would help me unwind. I knew Coco Palmel was working there, so I thought I might as well give her a visit.
You met with Miss Palmel.
What exactly were you doing
you
with
really?
the defendant, witness?
It was during the intermission that I went to the dressing room to meet up with Coco.
Hold it! You went during the intermission.
I was late getting to
Oh,
the
hey there,
theater, so I
Speedster.
couldn't make it backstage before the play started. When the play went on break, I figured it was the best opportunity to get backstage.
But aren't the staff in the theater guarding the stage? I find it hard to believe that they would let someone in the audience go backstage.
I've been to the theater many times, so the staff are quite familiar with me. They just let me through.
Yeah, I
Staff
remember you
mentioned
from the
anything
last
about you
time as
going
well.
backstage.
That's probably because they had no reason to. I wasn't there when the crime occurred, after all.
In that case, why didn't Miss Palmel mention anything about you?
Because
Miss Palmel could have
she has
easily lied
amnesia,
about anybody
maybe?
else being involved.
I find that very hard to believe. If she actually didn't want to get caught as the murderer, she would have mentioned a third party was involved right from the beginning.
That's
In
true.
fact, not mentioning just that makes your previous theory rather unlikely. Why would my client try so hard to create false evidence and then not even bother to mention that a third party was there, especially if there actually was one there?
That is... And there is one of the famous faces.
Who knows
And
what the
thank you for
defendant
that.
was thinking? Unless you have a solid objection to this testimony defense, I suggest you move on.
Very well. That leads me to my next question. Why did you meet with Miss Palmel?
That is none of your concern.
I beg to differ. Your business with Miss Palmel has everything to do with this case.
Well, if it's that important, I was just there to visit her.
Visit her. For what?
Nothing in particular, just to see her.
From what I hear, the two of you aren't exactly on good terms. Miss Palmel said she used to be your assistant, and she quit.
Our professional history is irrelevant. I was just there to see her again for old time's sake and put everything behind us.
So, what did you talk about?
Nothing much. I was wondering how she was doing. She and her friend were just working on this fabric as we talked.
Special fabric? Did you know about the fabric prior to your visit?
No, this was the first time I'd heard about this fabric. They let me have a look, and I even touched a bit. Very soft fabric, I should say.
So she felt
Oh.
the fabric. That would explain how she got paint on her hooves to make the hoof prints. As for the path itself, though...
That's without doubt.
As soon as the second act started, I took a casual walk backstage.
Hold it! Took a casual walk around?
Well, I was finished with our conversation, so I just figured that looking around backstage was a good way to unwind. The area was way bigger than I thought, so I couldn't help but wander around looking at everything. It reminded me of the last fashion competition I was in, and of seeing the models wearing my designs on stage. If only I had won the contest, I would...
If you had
But
won
that
the
was months
contest.
ago. I am far too busy to talk about my past accomplishments.
Or lack thereof, according to Rarity and Coco. Couldn't you have just watched the show instead?
If I decided to watch the show, then I would have gotten too distracted to get back to work on my dresses. But I still was a little curious about the play, so I took a little peek. From a
Taking a
different
little
perspective, you
peek
could
only.
say.
Oh, hi Javi,
I
as
went up the
well.
catwalk, walked across, and went back down on the opposite side.
Hold it! You went up to the catwalk.
I wanted to see the play for a short bit before I left. I must admit the height was very intimidating, but it sure was a great view.
But neither playwright nor the stage hooves mentioned anything about you going up to the catwalk. Why would they not mention you being backstage, especially since you're not part of the audience or the staff?
Objection!
Objection! No, it actually sounds like as well.
You would know that he was paying attention to the play.
I
He
think
only
his
looked
voice
at the
speaking
catwalk
better
because
as
his
well.
pony's running. This witness had no reason to make any sort of ruckus, so it's possible that she went up to the catwalk quietly without any pony noticing, especially since backstage was dark at that moment.
Unfortunately, I can't deny that. It would explain the hoof prints, but I don't believe that's the right explanation. It has to be something else, and I'm going to show her why all of this is false.
Any final statements, witness?
I then went out the back door and left the theater before the incident happened.
Hold it!
Hold it indeed. Let's see. I don't usually stop doing videos or reactions, but yeah, this is gonna be a little bit different because there are lots of people here that worked on this case and the script as well. Hi everybody. And it's gonna be hard to check both of the chat and the script either. So let's just see. Look at the team member popping in comment here. Name is MV, pony animator for most of the characters in this case. I'm enjoying it so far. I just started 11 minutes ago. And we will see how this is gonna go. Just taking a quick look before you tune back into a bunch of school stuff because finals week. Ooh, I wish you good luck on your finals. And I should probably mute my phone because oh my god, my phone just notified me that I'm live. Thank you, phone. Will Luna still be an important character in this story? Luna is always important character. You just don't know.
Just so we're all clear, you came in through the main entrance and left through the back door. That's what you're saying.
That's correct.
Would you mind adding this to your testimony, for clarity's sake?
If it means I can leave soon, then fine.
The witness will add this clarification to her testimony.
I entered the theater via the main entrance and left through the back door before anything even happened. Happy now?
Objection! Miss Polomare, there's a significant contradiction in your testimony.
Was there a contradiction there?
I see no such contradiction, human. Stop trying to force your reasoning when the trial's not going in your favor.
Huh, like you're one to talk.
Mr. Wright, would you care to explain this contradiction to the court?
Certainly, Your Honor. Suri claims that she left the theater before the murder took place, and therefore she has no connection to this case. Well, I have it on good faith that this claim is a bold-faced lie.
Yep, it is. I thought it was a contradiction
And what
about
evidence
the
do you have
main
to support that
entrance.
statement?
Well, first, let's clear up a separate issue regarding Suri's movements that night. She mentioned that she entered the theater through the front, which was where the audience sat. I find that very odd.
Odd, but she was an attendee. That's where every pony goes when they enter the theater.
If they have
You're
tickets.
right. That's where the audience goes. That is, if you're actually a part of the audience.
Okay, I actually see that. And if you hate Prince, that just means that that everyone did a great job portraying him as an obnoxious character. The first prosecutor is always gonna be hated, even if you like the character as well. Yep, that just means you did your job well. And now I remember that they said they checked everyone who was part of the audience and nobody was left out because their name is on the tickets.
Explain!
The witness said that she was late to the theater and arrived after the play had started. According to your own words, Prince Blueblood, the show in question was sold out around noon that day. It was actually Coco who purchased the last ticket and gave it to one of her friends as a gift. This means that if Miss Polomare just went to the theater on a whim, she would have had no way to get through the front door to get inside the theater.
She could without a ticket.
Order! Order! Witness, have you been lying to this court?
No, of course not. I must have gotten confused. What with the stress of this competition. I bought my ticket a few days in advance, so I was still able to get into the theater without any problems.
Even if that were true, that doesn't solve the biggest issue with your claim.
There's another?
There is a
Oh,
lot.
yes. And this will be the one that will reveal just how closely connected you are with this case.
Please explain, Mr. Wright.
Of course, Your Honor. The police made sure to interrogate all 5,000 attendees in the theater. If you really had bought your ticket, then the police would have discovered your absence immediately.
Yep.
They would have only interrogated 4,999 members of the audience. That means the only possible explanation for this inconsistency is that you were never part of the audience.
No! This can't be!
Oh no! Phoenix is actually right.
Miss Polomare, it seems more and more likely that you've perjured yourself. What do you have to say to explain this?
She's confused. That's all.
Obvious. I went back to my seat after I saw that it was raining outside. Jeez, why are you picking apart every insignificant detail?
We can ask
You
the
went back to your
police.
seat. How did you do that?
What do you mean, how did I do that? I walked back through the stage wing and returned to the audience.
Objection!
Objection.
Unfortunately for you, that is impossible.
Why?
If you recall, the stage wings were being watched during the second act of the play. There were stage hooves in the right wing, while playwright and his stage manager were in the left. Even if they could have somehow failed to notice the witness going to and from the catwalk, there's no way they would have missed her walking right past them.
They would.
Objection!
They would.
But the right wing was empty following the incident. She could have made her way back to the audience at that point.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. I went back to my seat when the wing was empty.
Then the police obviously took your name down when they interrogated you. Correct?
Tartarus with you, you filthy human!
Well, Prince Blueblood, was this witness among those who were interrogated?
Let me guess. No. But yeah, congrats to the whole crew. The whole voice crew, not just the voice crew. Everyone. They did a great job already. I can tell. Blueblood especially sounds like he's so full of himself. We don't know if the voice actor is full of himself or only just playing his part really well. I don't think you said it wrong. That's actually fine.
No, she was not.
What? How dare you?
So,
He's
as you
under
can see, the
oath,
witness
just
was
like
not
you.
among
That's
those
all.
interrogated, the total number of which added up to a full house
Wait,
of
are they
5,000.
on the road?
This, in addition to the glowing hoof prints, conclusively proves that Suri did not enter the theater as a member of the audience. She came in through the back door with the express purpose of stealing a roll of overall special fabric.
Witness, explain yourself at once!
Explaining can wait. I am curious. Seriously. I don't remember them taking an oath. At all. That they will not lie. They just said, Yes, that's my name, that's my occupation. That's all. So, yes, perjury is still perjury, but they never promised not to tell any lies.
Witness?
So, this is how far the equestrian royalty have fallen, huh?
What?
Oh,
How pitiful. You can't even protect a damsel in distress from being falsely accused.
Now see here, I am trying my hardest to help.
Shut up! I do not believe I gave you permission to speak.
so it is meant to be
Excuse
implied?
me?
I
am
guess.
a prince, I'll have you know. The nephew of Princess Celestia. You should treat me with the respect I deserve.
Respect? Don't make me laugh. A prince who uses the power he's borrowing from his aunt for no other purpose than to grant
Your Honor,
himself prestige
this is
among the
irrelevant.
elites of Canterlot isn't some pony worth respecting.
How dare you!
Simmer down. The adults are talking now, okay?
Miss Polomare, restrain yourself or you will be held in contempt of court!
Jeez. And here I thought a pony couldn't get any more intimidating. Twilight?
Now let's see who
Did
is
she
more
mean
full
this
of
is how
themselves.
the equestrian royalty have fallen?
Huh?
Now, witness, please explain to the court how you came to be at the theater on the night of the murder.
Fine, I admit it. I was not there as an audience member.
So you were lying to us.
Yes.
Yes, I was.
Witness, what are you doing? You realize that lying to the court would make me look—
Shut up! Why should I care about
Oh,
how
you
it
have
makes
your own
look?
voice.
I don't recall you
Right.
actually helping me out.
I beg your pardon? You dare talk back at me, witness? In case you hadn't noticed, I'm trying to save your sorry flank.
Then how about you stop sitting on yours and make yourself useful for once?
Are you really challenging my patience?
Your patience? I've been trying to be patient ever since I got here, and I have no time to be patient. I have dresses to work on.
Order in the court!
Yeah, that should have happened
You've just committed perjury!
much earlier.
But I will allow you an opportunity to clear the air. I suggest you take it rather than argue with the prosecution. Now, why would you lie to this court?
Maybe if you would all just be quiet for one moment, I can explain.
Then explain, maybe.
Let's cut to the chase, shall we? You're trying to say that I stole the fabric and killed the costume designer, correct?
That's right. Uh-oh. Why do I have a bad feeling about what she's going to say?
If that's the case, then why wouldn't I have just left the theater after stealing it? I had no reason to stick around and murder overall, correct?
But what if he caught you trying to escape? You'd naturally want to stop him from catching you.
Stop him, perhaps? But there are several ways to do that without.
Wait, is anybody in Ace Attorney saying shut up? I don't know if it's a knockoff series, but there is one. Shut up. Giselle, yep, it's from Giselle. I remember that. I know that there is a shut up. I just don't know where it comes from.
Killing him? Okay.
Well, perhaps you had some sort of hidden connection to the victim that we don't know about yet.
In that case, Your Honor, I would like to testify regarding my connection to this pony overall concept.
Okay.
What are you doing, witness? I'm supposed to be the one to call for things like that.
Then how about you actually do your job instead of waiting for me to do it
Wow.
for you? Maybe if you were actually competent at your job, I wouldn't be standing here having my name dragged through the mud and my patience tested because of this human attorney's endless questioning.
I actually see a little bit, or a lot, of von karma in her as well. Just taking on the court and just leading everyone. No? You say what I do.
If you want something done right, you do it yourself. Ugh. I can never rely on others to do work for me anymore. Like I always say, it's every pony for themselves in the big city.
That word, that line
Well
again.
then, witness, please testify to the court about your connection to the victim.
She's
I
derailing
admit,
this court,
I
this
wasn't part of
trial.
the audience. I noticed that the tickets were sold out, so I figured I'd come in the back door. The reason I came to the theater was to visit Coco Palmel and nothing else. It was then that I first met Overall Concept.
That might be true.
After my visit, I left the theater. I had no reason to kill the victim.
So, is that all you have to say, witness?
What else can I say? That's all that happened.
It's quite a short testimony for us to dissect.
Then all I need to do is press for more information. She's bound to reveal something.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
We still don't know if it was an actual murder or an accident.
I admit, I wasn't part of the audience.
Hold it! You acknowledge that you willingly trespassed in the theater.
Yes, but it wasn't as if I was gonna harm some pony. Besides, it's not like any of you have ever trespassed before.
There's a big difference between a cow ranch and a big city theater, you know. Were you planning on buying a ticket?
I planned to, but
All of them were sold out.
I noticed that the tickets were sold out, so I figured I'd come in the back door.
Hold it! Were there no other entrances in the theater?
The only one I knew was the back door.
And there were no ponies guarding the back door?
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be in this mess if there were guards in the back to stop me, wouldn't you say?
Point taken. So what did you do once you went inside?
The reason I came to the theater was to visit Coco Palmel and nothing else.
We cannot disapprove of that.
Why did you want to visit Miss Palmel?
She invited me to come over.
Oh,
So you were a guest.
Yes, I actually went there because Coco gave me a letter that day to come to the theater near the end of the play.
A letter? Coco didn't mention anything about a letter to Suri. This has got to be another lie.
Can we
Do
check
you
that?
still have this letter by any chance?
Not with me, but
But
She hesitated. So she probably was lying. Then how do we know that everything you just said was the truth?
I suppose you can't know for certain. But you absolutely cannot see that letter.
oh,
She's really aggressive about this letter, but I
She
don't have any
mentioned
proof that
something
this
in the
was there
letter.
or not. Guess I'll come back to this when the time comes.
the letter is
So,
real.
What did you do after you arrived at the theater?
I talked with Coco for a bit, and it was then that I first met Overall Concept.
Must be right.
You never met the victim before that point?
No, but I've heard of him. I mean, who hasn't? He earned his fame a few years ago in the same fashion contest I'm participating in. Something I'd like to get back to working on.
Huh.
That checks out.
You are not
what
going
was
anywhere
said
for 3
earlier.
days.
Did you talk to him at all?
No, he was too consumed by his work. He was busy with a sheet of gorgeous fabric at the time.
I see. And what did you do after your visit with Coco?
After my visit, I left the theater. I had no reason to kill the victim.
Hold it!
That is
You
true
did have a
as
reason.
well.
You went to steal the fabric.
Even if I did, which I didn't, by the way. I wouldn't have needed to kill Mr. Concept in order to get away with it.
But he was chasing you. You had to get him off your tail somehow.
I would think that hanging some pony would be considered a bit extreme if all I wanted to do was get him to stop chasing me. Am I right?
Yep, that's true.
Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to disprove Miss Polomare's claims about having no motive to kill the victim?
Nope.
What should I do?
I
don't have
don't
anything
think
that
you
shows
have.
a connection between Suri and Overall. And I can't deny the fact that murdering him to get away with a theft is too extreme. Especially since we know that the victim was knocked unconscious before he died. Hey, Twilight, any ideas? Twilight?
Twilight?
Sorry. What were you asking me?
Suri's motive for killing Overall. As much as I hate to say it, I can't help but think that she wouldn't kill him if she could have made a clean getaway.
Perhaps she didn't have a motive to kill Overall after all then. Perhaps her motive for murder is actually related to someone else instead.
To Coco.
Good thinking, Twilight.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you
We
have an
need the
answer?
letter.
Your Honor, the defense is willing to concede that the witness did not have a direct motive to kill the victim.
You see, so you finally acknowledge that I'm innocent.
Not quite. You didn't have a motive to kill the victim, but you did have a motive to hurt someone else.
Mr. Wright, are you suggesting that there were 2 victims that night?
Indeed I am, Your Honor.
Shut up!
Shut
What
up.
nonsense is this? There was only one victim at the theater that night. Overall concept.
That's not true.
Your Honor, I would like the witness to add that last statement to her testimony.
What?
I'm not sure how this will help, but I guess I'll follow along. Witness, please add that last statement to your testimony.
Ah!
So much
There was
anger.
only one victim at the theater that night. Overall concept.
Objection! Only one victim, huh? It seems you've forgotten about someone else who ended up as a victim in this case.
What are you blathering on about, attorney? Overall Concept was the only pony who was killed at the theater that night.
That is true.
But that doesn't mean he was the only victim.
Quit wasting my time and just say what you want to say, okay?
Very well. It's true Overall Concept was the one murdered, but being murdered isn't a requirement in order to become a victim.
I'm just as confused as everyone else. Could you please explain, Mr. Wright?
Surely.
For example, someone being the victim of assault. And while the victim was assaulted before his death, someone else was also attacked at the scene of the crime. Coco Pomel.
Miss Pomel? You mean with that stain on her mane?
Yep.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Objection! So what does that prove? It doesn't prove that the witness was the one who caused that mark on her mane.
Objection! While it's not exactly proof that she
Wow.
was the one who attacked Miss Pomel, it would establish her motive for murdering Overall.
Her motive?
Think about it. After Miss Polomare was able to knock Overall down, all she needed to do was run away. As she said herself, she never knew the victim, leaving her no reason to commit murder.
Finally, you understand. I told you I wouldn't want to do something like kill him.
But then some pony else gave you a reason.
What's this now?
What do you mean?
You know who Coco Pomel is, correct?
No,
Is this
I
a
was
joke?
invited
I've
by
already
her.
mentioned I do.
And what was your past relationship with her again?
Well,
Before you say anything, I should warn you, both Rarity and Coco are listening, and I'm sure they'd be willing to testify to the truth if the need arises.
Objection! What does Miss Polomare and Miss Pomel's past relationship have to do with any of this?
I'll
A
gladly
lot.
explain. When I spoke to Miss Pomel and Rarity, they had some very negative things to say about Miss Polomare. In another fashion contest that both Rarity and Suri Polomare had entered, Miss Polomare stole some of Rarity's own special fabric to make dresses with, and took all of the credit. Yet, it wasn't even the witness who made the dresses. Coco made them.
What?
Uh-oh. Well,
But that's not all.
goodbye
At the
any
end of the
fame you
contest,
have
she lied
left.
to Rarity by saying that she had lost, and made Coco lie to her as well. In response to her dishonesty, Coco quit as Miss Polomare's pupil.
You're saying that this witness has a history of lying and cheating?
No, that's
So,
just her
Even if I
full
did any of
character.
that, how does this have anything to do with this case?
It's actually got everything to do with it.
Wow, what is this track? The
Now that we know
background.
their history together, let's bring it back to the current incident. Miss Polomare could have just knocked out overall concept and left with the special fabric, but a certain former pupil was right behind him.
Yes, that would be Miss Pommel. Oh!
With Coco Pommel in the picture, it changes everything. I think anyone would have some feeling of animosity towards someone who called you out as a liar and a cheat in such a big contest. Am I right? Maybe the feeling was so
Oh, I
deep-seated
have not
that
seen the
you
anime.
would do
That's why
anything to get back at them.
I didn't
Maybe
recognize
even
it.
frame them for murder.
What?
What? Oh, dual shot, what?
Order! Order! Mr. Wright, explain what you mean at once!
Your Honor, the witness's motive in this case is not actually tied to the victim at all. Her motive was revenge against her former pupil, Coco Pommel.
You're saying that the witness killed someone simply to frame another for their death?
Yes.
Exactly. Here's how I think things played out. Miss Polomare was originally planning on just stealing the fabric and escaping. After she knocked Overall out, she was about to make her exit, but then Coco showed up right behind the victim. After knocking her out too, Miss Polomare realized that she was in the perfect position to get revenge on the pony who had caused her such grave humiliation. That's right. She hanged Overall just to get revenge on Coco Pommel.
Yep, every pony is in shock. Except Twilight.
Who was that?
Who?
Witness?
Shut up! I've had enough of this farce of a trial! Listen to you all! This is what Equestria is depending on as its means of serving justice? This court is an absolute farce!
Now, calm down, witness.
Silence, you senile old fool!
Excuse me? Senile?
Yes, a senile old fool. You're the one who's supposed to be mediating this trial, correct? Then why haven't you put an end to that human lawyer's baseless slandering against me?
Well, he has made some very good...
Shut up! See? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Even though he has no evidence to support his claims, you just let him prattle on anyway. And you...
That is true. We have no
You're
evidence.
supposed to be protecting me, are you not?
But you said you wanted to...
Shut up! It's not your job to stand there and complain. It's to prosecute that little traitor over there, okay? So why don't you go and get started by debunking this lawyer's theory?
Well...
Ugh. Do I have to do everything myself? Absolutely worthless. Ugh. Seems as if it's not only every pony for themselves in that big city, it's every pony for themselves no matter where you are.
Witness.
What?
You're saying that my theory is completely false. You didn't kill the victim or frame Miss Pommel for his death.
Of course not.
In that case, I'd like you to testify to the full truth of what you did at the theater that night.
Ugh. Fine. Since neither the judge nor the prosecution will help me, I suppose I have to do this myself.
Very
Yes.
well. Witness, please test it.
Shut up! I know what I need to do. Now sit back and listen so the truth doesn't escape those worn-out ears of yours.
Yes, ma'am.
It
Seems as
hurts.
if we're finally approaching the end of our little play here. Time to make it or break it.
Meeting with Coco.
I met with Coco Palmal after receiving a letter from her. After our meeting, I left the room, only to have Overall start chasing me. I ran up to the catwalk, hoping to outrun him. Suddenly, I heard a thud, and I noticed that Overall was on the ground, and the fabric fell out of his mouth. I saw Coco come from behind, grab the roll of fabric, and hit him over the head.
Oh, wait, what?
She then took his body, wrapped a noose around his neck, and dropped him from the ledge. Coco told me to unwrap the fabric from the roll and leave the building, and I begrudgingly obliged.
Wow. What?
You saw Miss Coco murder Mr. Concept?
Yes, I am a witness to the actual crime.
Why did you not mention this to me before? This is crucial information.
Coco told me to keep this a secret. It was her idea after all.
But if this testimony is the truth, then that means you're an accomplice.
It's
Yep.
not as if I wanted to do this. Coco told me to keep quiet about it.
I find that very hard to believe. You honestly think this sudden revelation that Coco somehow forced you to cooperate will convince anyone?
It will
Look,
convince
I
someone.
saw what I saw, and I had to obey because I was afraid I would be her next victim, okay?
She's trying so hard to frame Coco for all of this.
All we gotta do is prove that she didn't do it. I think there's plenty of things she didn't take into account. We just need to show them.
Okay. Do you have evidence to disapprove her claims? Like...
I met with Coco Palmal after receiving a letter from her.
What time did you receive this letter?
Well, I found it under my door when I got back to my apartment. It was probably around 4 in the afternoon.
That's odd. I thought she was lying about the letter earlier, but she answered rather quickly there.
No, the letter is
What
here.
time did you go to the theater?
Well, I knew the play started at 7 and lasted about 2 hours long, so I made sure to arrive at the theater around 8:45.
According to the autopsy report, the time of death was between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. This lines up perfectly.
That's true.
What did you do once you were there?
I met up with Coco in the dressing room. She said she just wanted to catch up after not talking for a while. She and her friend, Overall Concept, were just finishing up coating a sheet of fabric with fluorescent paint. I even accidentally touched some of the wet paint when I went to feel the fabric. Overall scolded me for doing so.
That must be
That
true.
mostly lines up with what Coco remembers. Is that a lucky guess? Or did she actually visit her? Did you do anything else during your visit?
Nothing much, really. As soon as they were done with coating the fabric in paint, Coco left the room for a moment to wash her hooves. There was really nothing left for me to talk about, so I just made my leave, as I did have to wash my hooves as well. However, I suddenly heard some kind of commotion.
Commotion?
After our meeting, I left the room, only to have Overall start chasing me.
Overall started chasing you?
It was so out of nowhere. He was holding a fabric roll in his mouth and he just had this very angry look on his face. I think you'd freak out too if a stallion like that just started running towards you.
Can you stop trying to turn it around on me? About this fabric roll, was it bare?
No, it had the fabric Coco and he had just finished working on wrapped around it. My best guess is he was rolling up the fabric and then something disturbed him, so he ran out of the dressing room with it.
The victim rolled up the sheet of fabric while it was still wet. I don't buy it. So, how did you react to the situation?
She ran
I
away.
ran up to the catwalk hoping to outrun him.
Couldn't you have just gone straight for the back door?
I could have, but I saw Coco Palmal on the other side of the backstage area and I didn't want to crash into her, so I went up the catwalk instead.
You saw Miss Palmel?
For a brief moment, yes. She looked very surprised as well.
But wouldn't Playwright have been able to see you going up the catwalk too?
Objection! You should know the answer to that by now, human. Playwright's testimony stated that he didn't see Miss Polomare go up to the catwalk when he saw the chase. In fact, it was you who suggested that she was far ahead enough that Playwright must have missed her.
Yep.
He's right. It was me who pointed that out. If anything, this at least confirms my suggestion. I just hope the rest of her testimony can line up with my theory.
It won't.
So what did you do when you reached the top?
I was correct in thinking that going up to the catwalk would slow him down.
What do you mean by that, witness?
Suddenly, I heard a thud, and I noticed that Overall was on the ground, and the fabric fell out of his mouth.
He tripped?
Yes, and based on the sound of the clang he made, he must have tripped hard.
That doesn't sound
Coco
like
Playwright mentioned something
thud.
about hearing a clang as well.
a fall.
Would the victim tripping really make such a loud noise? Where did the fabric roll?
I am enjoying it,
Roll
GM
after
boat.
he dropped.
I don't even speak too much
Don't
because
worry.
I'm
It just landed right in front
listening
of him.
too much.
Did you keep running after he tripped?
I was going to originally, but then I saw something quite unsettling. I saw Coco come from behind, grab the roll of fabric, and hit him over the head.
Miss Polomare, that statement contains a glaring issue.
Glaring.
Yep.
Care to explain, Mr. Wright?
Certainly. The witness claims that she saw Coco take the fabric roll and hit Overall on the head with it.
I
But
fail to see the problem with that statement.
Well, if you recall,
Fluorescent
Coco's hooves didn't have a
paint.
trace of paint on them. If the fabric was wet enough to cover Miss Polomare's hooves in paint, then it should have also covered Coco's when she grabbed it.
It's a fairly simple explanation, human.
you had to watch it doing
Remember that
work.
this paint could have been washed in the rain. Since this witness stated that Miss Pamel gave the fabric to her and left the theater with it, she didn't need to hide the fabric herself, which means she wouldn't have needed to step outside completely, just far enough out that she could get her hooves wet. You see, this was all part of the defendant's plan to frame Miss Polomare for the crime.
I forgot about that
In
face.
that case, how do you plan to explain away these other two inconsistencies?
Inconsistencies?
Yep.
Indeed. They arise from a detail in the autopsy report, namely, the areas where the fabric roll touched the victim.
What's wrong with that? The autopsy stated that there was a bruise on the back of the head, and if Miss Pamel came from behind, it would naturally be the area where she would strike him.
That's
It's not what's
true.
been left behind on Overall's body that's the problem. It's what wasn't left behind.
Yep.
Huh? What do you mean?
Have you forgotten already? The fabric had just been coated with fluorescent paint, and it was still wet at the time of the crime. If Overall was really holding it in his mouth, there would have been traces of paint left over in his mouth.
Perhaps the paint was washed away by his saliva then.
Even if that were somehow the case, it wouldn't matter, because there was another spot where the paint couldn't have been washed away.
Is this?
Couldn't... Ah! No!
If
And
Overall
the
was
head.
hit on the back of the head with the wet fabric on the fabric roll, then some of the paint would have been discovered there.
What? What's happening? Someone please enlighten me so that I can be shocked too.
Your Honor, the autopsy report states no other substances or residues were found on the victim's body aside from the glitter on his forehooves. We
Yep.
also know, thanks to the previous testimony, that the special fabric was indeed wrapped around the fabric roll at the time of the murder. And it was most definitely still wet.
Oh. Oh!
Oh.
Based on all this evidence and the testimony presented up to this point, it is impossible for the victim to have been hit on the head with the fabric roll.
What?
Objection! Then the only other explanation is the roll must have been empty this whole time. It would explain why there were no stains on him.
Objection! Unfortunately, Prince Blueblood, that cannot be the case.
A torn piece of fabric was found on stage, indicating that the fabric must have gone up the catwalk at some point. And even if we were to ignore that, the witness herself just claimed that the fabric was on the roll when it was brought up.
Then that must mean that the defendant unwrapped the fabric from the roll as soon as she got up there, and then hit Overall with it.
They rolled it back up,
Unwrapping
right?
the roll would have taken far too much time, and Overall would have managed to escape without being attacked. No matter what way you try to interpret it, it's impossible for Coco or anyone else to have used the fabric roll to hit the victim.
So, what was the fabric roll used for then, Mr. Wright?
We have
It's become
established
apparent
it before.
that Suri Polomare was the only one who could have brought the fabric up to the catwalk.
And why's that?
Overall couldn't have done so without getting paid on himself, and Coco couldn't have done it without being seen by Playwright. So there's only one pony left. Process of elimination. Right, Prince Blue Blood?
Yep. Using your
So,
own words
Miss
against you.
Polomare, do you deny that you were the one who carried the fabric roll up the catwalk? There's no one else who could have done it, so you might as well...
So what if I did?
Huh?
Listen here, human. Maybe I did steal the fabric. Maybe I did attack Coco Pommel. But here's the thing. This proves nothing!
Why?
What do you mean? Proves nothing.
You're saying that I knocked both the victim and Coco Pommel out with that fabric roll, right? Well, how exactly did I manage to not leave any traces of paint on the victim myself?
That music from
then?
everywhere.
You're claiming that Coco
But they
didn't hit
fit.
the victim with the roll because she
That's what
left that
matters.
paint on him. The same reasoning applies to me, does it not?
That is indeed true, but if you really did go to the theater to steal the fabric, it's possible that you might have prepared a weapon of your own to fend off anyone that would try to stop you.
It's possible?
No evidence.
Well, then why don't you go ahead and prove that possibility? I can say for certain that I did not bring a single thing to the theater other than what I have on right now. So go ahead. Prove the existence of this other weapon if you can.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove the existence of a different weapon the witness could have used to knock out the victim?
Are you kidding me? How am I supposed to do that? I've got no leads to go off of. It could be anything.
Admit it, you have nothing, filthy human. Your Honor,
Yes, Miss Polomare?
I request an escort to take me back to my apartment, and hopefully we can all put this travesty behind us.
I'm afraid you will have to be brought in for questioning before that. You were an accomplice to the defendant, after all. But I'm sure the police can arrange for some form of transportation after that.
To the jail. Because being an accomplice to murder is still being an accomplice to the murder. And speaking of music, about Takeshy and Saiban, I'm actually playing that right now. They're keeping a theme for what music to use. That will become more apparent in the next case. Oh, you are already preparing the next case. I'm glad to hear that. But even though we have not proven that Suri is actually the murderer, which I'm actually not sure of if she is, but she still said that she's an accomplice. She just basically dug her own grave. With that.
Whatever. It's still better than being charged for murder.
No! If I don't think of something now, she's going to get away.
Phoenix!
Twilight, there's nothing! I don't know what she could have used to knock the victim out.
Calm down. There's gotta be something we've overlooked.
How can I calm down now?
Yes, something
The real
maybe
killer's about to
overhanging
get
from
away.
the
Phoenix,
play.
follow my lead.
Oh.
What was that?
It's
Calm
a breathing
down.
exercise my sister-in-law taught me. She's a princess too, and she taught me this to prepare myself for stressful situations I would have to face as a princess myself.
I see. Wait, your sister-in-law?
Your sister-in-law. Is she gonna be in the next scene? Next case? But yeah, she taught you two things. The breathing technique and sunshine, sunshine. 80 bucks a week. And the next case is way better than this also. Not to say this is bad. Who said that? No, this is actually really great. And yeah, boys here as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The case when second is better than first. Well, to tell you the truth, most of the cases in all of Phoenix Wright series is the case right there. That second, third case is mostly better than the first one because the first is obviously a tutorial.
You have a sibling? And there's another princess?
That's not important right now, Phoenix.
Right. Sorry.
Anyway, we need to think quickly here. Suri must have brought something to the theater that night to use as a weapon.
That's not
But
sure.
the only things she'll admit to having brought with her are the clothes she has on now.
Then let's see if we can use those.
Are you nuts? How could she have knocked someone out with an article of clothing?
We'll think about
You
that
would be
later.
surprised,
This
Phoenix.
is the only lead we have left right now.
Well then, if there are no further objections, I believe it is time we conclude the cross-examination of this witness.
About time, too.
Oh yeah, I remember that case. In Dual Destinies. But the later cases are better in that
Your
as well,
Honor,
so...
the defense would like to present evidence at this time.
Evidence?
Yes, evidence that shows exactly what this witness used to attack overall concept on the night of the murder.
This is from the anime as well,
Impossible.
or...
You can't possibly have anything.
Yeah, I think.
Mr. Wright, please explain what you mean.
I've gotta think fast here. No, not just fast, crazy. Miss Polomare must have somehow knocked out overall with just a piece of clothing. She's not wearing anything else that would be heavy enough to cause such a large bruise on the back of his head, though. So, time to think outside of the box. Instead of figuring out what she used on the victim, we should figure out what she did to him to cause that bruise.
Yes.
The hard hoof steps from them on the wooden floor were already bad enough. Mix that with a rattling catwalk and that loud clang. That's enough to ruin a play as it is.
A loud clang.
On the way up the stairs, I heard a loud clanging noise, and I ran as quickly as I could to see what happened.
This is a perfect sound for logic, team.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. The witness has made some valid points in her defense. Do you have anything to refute them?
That was
I do,
saying that.
Your Honor.
I told
Wow.
you before. I didn't bring a weapon to the theater.
Oh, I believe you. You didn't bring anything of the sort.
But, Mr. Wright, wasn't your whole theory based on her having another weapon?
It was.
This team
and
sounds
still
like it's
is.
more likely you are
Explain,
getting
human.
attacked.
What if this other weapon wasn't a conventional one?
Meaning?
The defense is of the opinion that we've been going about this the wrong way. Recall that playwright mentioned there was a loud clang during the chase.
At least try and keep up, attorney. That was when the victim tripped. We just established this in Miss Polomare's testimony.
I beg to differ.
Huh?
I think that noise was really the moment when Overall was knocked unconscious.
And how would that be? You've admitted that she had no weapon with her. What else could possibly have made that clang? It would have had to have been something metal.
That
I
might be
completely
true.
agree. Your Honor, the defense
Oh, the
proposes that
rails.
witness Suri Polomare knocked the victim out using the catwalk itself.
What?
The wording. She turned the victim out with the catwalk.
Do you hear yourself, human? How in the world would I have been able to use a catwalk as a weapon?
Simple. All you had to do was throw him against it. If he hit the back of his head against the railing hard enough, I'm sure that would have been able to knock him out cold.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Objection!
No, it's not.
Impossible, might I add. The witness is a mare of rather petite stature.
Is she
Are you
petite?
suggesting that she managed to overpower a fully grown stallion with nothing but her hooves? And then, after doing so, throw him hard enough against the railing to knock him unconscious?
Not quite.
Huh?
You're right that she used the railing to knock him out, but she didn't do so with her bare hooves.
Would this be related to that unconventional weapon you mentioned earlier by any chance?
Exactly, Your Honor. In fact, she kindly brought it into the court for all to see.
What?
Your
Her
Honor,
scarf?
this is the weapon Miss Polomare used to overpower the victim. Take that!
You're saying she used her scarf?
Recall what the witness just said moments ago.
I can say for certain that I did not bring a single thing to the theater other than what I have on right now.
Yes.
Nothing other than what she has on. Ah!
Oh!
If that's true, then the weapon she used should be clear as day. After making it to the catwalk, she took the scarf off of her neck and waited for the victim to ascend as well.
Wow,
Once
she had a lot
did,
of time.
She quickly wrapped the scarf around the unsuspecting Overall's neck. The two no doubt struggled as he tried to free himself. But as his strength waned, Miss Polomare managed to knock out Overall by throwing him against the catwalk's railing.
Objection! Are you listening to yourself, human?
Yeah, that
If
sounds
she had done
far-fetched.
that, she would have left marks around the victim's neck.
Marks that I'm sure weren't just seen as having been caused by the rope. Am I right?
Huh?
Then,
That
just
is
as Miss
true.
Polomare finished incapacitating Overall, who should show up but Coco. After coming across a scene like that, she would have been too on guard for the witness to use her scarf again. So instead, she used the fabric roll she had with her to knock Coco out as well.
Shut up! You... What are you even talking about? I did no such thing. Your Honor, please throw this lawyer out of the courtroom now!
I can assume one thing that can happen much easier than this. Overall concept was running, chasing after her, and just... Oh, there are people outside. And just had a misstep. Just fallen over to the rail and hit his head. That can happen much easier than this. Yes, I definitely think that they will get the other cases. And I'm not sure that Phoenix will be available to do all the cases altogether. That happened in other Phoenix Fight games as well.
I'm sorry, Miss Polomare, but I can't do that.
Why is that?
Mr. Wright's theory may seem far-fetched, but I cannot deny that what he has proposed is indeed a possibility. Prince Blueblood, any thoughts?
Well...
Oh dear. It seems we've reached
Oh
an
dear.
impasse. I suppose I have no choice but to suspend proceedings of this trial for another...
Hold it! Your Honor, I have evidence to prove my innocence.
Do you?
do? Well, let's hear it then.
Very well. Mr. Wright, you're saying that I used my scarf to strangle the victim on the night of the murder, correct?
Well,
Yes,
not
that's
exactly
what
to
he
death or
said.
anything, but something like that, yes.
In that case, there should be paint marks on my scarf, right? I clearly wasn't aware of the paint that stained my hoof since I left behind a pretty noticeable trail at the scene. So obviously, that means I wouldn't have washed it to get rid of those marks, correct?
Hmm.
I suppose so.
Then go ahead. I'll give you permission to test my scarf for traces of paint. I promise you, you won't find anything on it.
Oh.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you wish to request that we test Miss Polomare's scarf?
Well, you have no choice.
This feels like a trap. There's no doubt
It's
that
a
she
trap.
was unaware of the paint that night. If she had known, she wouldn't have left such a clear trail behind. In that case, the fact that she so eagerly gave up her scarf for testing can only mean that she's certain that whatever paint she left on has been washed off.
Oh,
So
she has
then,
another
the
scarf.
answer should be clear. No, Your Honor.
What?
Why not, Mr. Wright? This could be your only chance to prove your case.
That would be because there's no way that the scarf has any paint left on it.
And how are you so sure of that?
Because last night, at the time of the murder,
Oh yeah, the rain.
it was raining outside.
No!
Even though you were completely unaware of the fluorescent paint that night, that doesn't matter in the slightest. Any traces of paint that remained on your hooves or your scarf would have undoubtedly been washed away by the rain as you made your way back home.
You insolent human!
Order!
Wow.
Order! Witness, restrain yourself.
Shut up! You stay out of this. This is between me and that lawyer over there.
No, it's not.
Of course, ma'am.
Gee, thanks for nothing, Your Honor.
So, human, since you refuse to let me try and prove my own innocence, how about you show some evidence that proves my guilt?
Your guilt.
Everything you've said so far is all based on circumstantial evidence.
Yep,
The
that's
scarf,
true.
The fabric, the clothing. You've woven a fascinating yarn. But can you prove it to be true?
Wow.
She's right. At the moment, this is all just circumstantial. Just conjecture.
That's a well written
That's
sentence.
about to change very soon.
If you can't prove I killed Overall and framed Coco for it, then cease your baseless accusations, okay?
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have anything that conclusively proves that this witness was the one who killed Overall Concept and then framed the defendant as an act of revenge?
This is it, the final piece of the puzzle. If I can't prove Suri's guilt now, the trial will have to resume tomorrow. Who knows what that could mean for us?
Do you know what we can use now, Phoenix? I don't think any of the evidence is conclusive enough to show that Suri had anything to do with the murder or the framing.
Perhaps not right now, but we may just see it in a moment.
What do you mean?
Suri made one big mistake that night. She got her hooves covered in fluorescent paint. Then whatever
Yes?
she touched also got contaminated in that paint. And unfortunately for her, she just had to go the extra mile when framing Coco for
Oh,
the
the rope. The rope
Oh,
itself.
I see now.
crime. All that's left is to see if we can make it stick.
I won't ask again, Mr. Wright. Present your evidence now, if you have any, to prove that this witness is the real guilty party behind this crime.
Yep, that one
He's
extra
got
step.
nothing. He can't have anything.
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Miss Polomare. I do have the evidence that proves that you were the guilty party, and it's right here. Take that!
Isn't that the
Oh,
fabric
the fabric
roll?
roll?
What in Equestria does that prove? There's nothing on there to suggest that I even touched it.
When looking at it normally, you're right. However, we've yet to examine this fabric roll completely.
Completely.
Your Honor, with your permission, I would like to perform one last test with the forensic flashlight. Once I shine it over this fabric roll, we'll see once and for all who really killed Overall Concept.
What? No. No!
Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I don't understand. How would any traces found on that fabric roll prove who killed the victim?
It's simple, Your Honor. When we adjourned for recess earlier, Coco told me she had regained some of her memories.
Oh? And what did she remember?
Unfortunately, she couldn't remember exactly what had happened on the catwalk, but she did remember everything after she awoke from being knocked out. This fabric roll was resting in her hooves, which had suddenly become covered in glitter, despite the fact she had just washed them.
The fabric roll was in her hooves?
If she is to be believed, then this means someone must have placed it there, and there's only one pony who could have done that. Miss Polomare, I'm going to run this flashlight over this fabric roll. If we find your hoof prints on there, left clearly by the paint your hooves were covered in, then I would say this whole case is solved.
Is it though? With that? Wow.
Oh,
She touched it all
there they
over.
are! Quick, someone analyze them!
And the hoof prints matched.
Prince Blueblood, are the results back yet?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what do they show?
The hoof prints found on the fabric roll match those of Suri Polomare.
Well,
It's
this
over,
case
Suri.
is shut
Now that we
and
know you're
closed.
responsible for framing Coco, that would naturally mean you were also the one who killed overall concept. So, Suri Polomare, what do you have to say for yourself?
Wow, the deliver, nice. And the breakdown. Don't choke yourself, please. It came and went. Case closed.
Well, I do believe we've finally come to the conclusion of this trial.
I agree, Your Honor.
If I am to understand correctly, Miss Polomare was the only other pony at the scene of the murder, and all of the evidence points to her.
Yes.
Her motive was to steal a roll of the victim's fabric for the contest she was participating in, and she was caught in the process of stealing it and retaliated against her pursuers. After they were both knocked unconscious, she hung overall concept in an effort to get revenge on her former pupil.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. Everything lines up, and all the facts are in place.
Indeed. I see no room for doubt.
You did it, Phoenix! You won!
But she
All's well
didn't
that
go
ends
there
well.
to steal the fabric. She didn't know about it.
No, I can't lose. Not to this hairless buffoon.
But hey,
Led us to this
he has
conclusion,
hair
Blue Blood.
on his head.
There's nowhere else to go from here.
No. I didn't do it. You have to believe me. Please.
Huh?
Somebody help me.
Now then, I believe it is time I hand down my verdict. The court finds the defendant, Coco Pamel,
Objection? No? Coco? I guess?
Please hold on for a second.
Coco?
Huh?
Miss Pamel? What are you doing? I was about to hand down your verdict.
Wait! There's something I need to tell you. It's important.
Yes.
Something important?
What is it, Miss
Yeah, I
Pamel?
remembered I blackmailed her.
Have an objection to the defense's last statement.
What?
That's a long one.
Order! Order in the court!
Like
Defendant,
gosh.
what is the meaning of this?
I remember now. I remember everything.
Do you know?
Remember?
Wait, Coco, you regained all your memory?
Yes, all of it.
What do you mean by all of it?
I can tell you in full detail about the chase.
even what happened on the catwalk.
Oh,
Well, don't just stand there looking
it's a jam.
adorable.
I agree.
Please, tell the court what you mean.
Admittedly, I didn't see the moment he fell. But I know for a fact that Suri, she couldn't have been the one who pushed him down.
Huh?
What?
What?
Impossible! Order! Order! Order in the court! Miss Pommel, do you realize what you just said? By doing this, you're incriminating yourself!
No,
Trying
she's
to
not.
make a mockery of this court.
Pommel, you stay out of this. This doesn't involve you anymore.
Yes, it
You'll
does.
be arrested for murder if I don't do something.
Why do you care? You hate my guts. If anything, you should be thrilled about this.
No, I'm not like you.
Can't just sit by and watch this happen. If I don't say anything, you're gonna get sent to the moon.
Oh yeah, that happens. I forgot about that. It's,
You don't.
it's not jail
You
time
keep saying
here.
that's every pony for themselves, but that's just not true. I've learned from a great friend that you should always show generosity to others, even if they may not deserve it.
Who
So
could
I'm
it
going to
be?
help you, whether you want me to or not.
Well, you asked for
I
help.
couldn't care less about why you're doing this. What matters is what this means. Is this you confessing to your crime, defendant?
Not at all. If it's all right, I'd like to explain what I saw on the night of the murder.
Yes, please
Coco,
do.
What else is there left to be said? It's been proven that Miss Polomare was behind this. I understand how you must feel, but
Please, Mr. Wright, I have to do this. I have to save her. I trust her. She would never kill any pony. And you trust me, right? You told me so. So please, let me testify. Let me tell you what really happened that night.
Yup, Phoenix. Don't forget, you are here for the truth.
if you're that certain of your own testimony, then I trust you. Your Honor,
Yes?
please allow my client to testify. From it, we should be able to find the real truth of this case.
Very well. Miss Pommel, please testify about what you witnessed at the night of the murder.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you too, Mr. Wright.
Once again, only an ace attorney.
Coco?
We're in uncharted waters now. The only thing I really know is that whatever it is Coco has to say will lead us to the truth.
What do you
I was
remember?
returning from the restroom after washing my hooves with the paint and glitter. I
Yes?
suddenly saw Overall running up to the catwalk, and then I quickly followed him. While running up the stairs, I heard a loud clang from above. When I reached the top of the catwalk, I saw Suri looking over the edge with a special fabric in her mouth. I ran to her to ask where Overall was, but then she swapped the roll in my head, and I was knocked out. When I came to, I looked down for the catwalk and saw Overall hanging with a rope tied around his neck. Before I could even scream, Clary found me, and I just stood where I was until the police came.
So...
That seems to be quite consistent with what the defense has already uncovered.
Yes, but if you'll let me explain further.
Objection!
No,
Why are we continuing with this charade? Is this your handiwork?
it was an
Human?
accident, wasn't
Did
it?
you set this up just to rub my defeat in my face?
Of course not. It's our duty as keepers of the law to find the truth. The whole truth. If all you care about are your own personal victories, then I suggest you find a different occupation.
Yep.
You little blue cretin! You dare disrespect me! Me! Prince Blue
Everybody
Blood,
disrespects
nephew to
you.
Princess Celestia, her...
I don't care who you are. I'm here to find the truth. And if you weren't here to do the same, then the only experience you're gonna get with these trials is how to severely damage your own judicial system.
Wow.
You...
Enough! Mr. Wright,
The
please
voice
begin your
acting is on point.
cross-examination.
I have to say that. It's amazing what they can do.
I was returning from the restroom after washing my hooves with the paint and glitter.
Hold it! Are you certain that you were able to wash everything off?
Yes, I did. I knew that I was dealing with fluorescent paint, so I had to be thorough with my washing. I actually had to turn off the lights while washing my hooves to see if I got everything off.
Oh, that makes sense.
Is
That
it
makes.
that difficult to wash off?
As long as it's still wet, it's manageable. It's
Into the
not as
Desktop was
easy
part
when
of the
it's
script.
dry, though. That's why I had to wash my hooves immediately.
So, why didn't Overall have any paint on his hooves? He was working with you, right?
Yeah, but he was mostly just showing me how to properly paint the fabric, so he barely touched the stuff.
I see.
Oh,
You also said that you were returning to the dressing room. Anything in particular that seemed off while heading back?
Well, something like that. I suddenly saw Overall running up to the catwalk, and then I quickly followed him.
Hold it! Did you see anyone else before you saw Overall?
No, I only saw him. Or at least, that's all I could see when I looked.
I can hear
What
a
do you mean by
lot of
that?
improvement from the
While I
first
was on my way
part.
back, I was listening to the play.
And the second
I
part
was
as well.
really happy with how great the actors were doing, and it sounded like their best performance yet. I only noticed that something was wrong when I heard loud hoof steps, and that was when I looked ahead towards the dressing room. I only saw Overall sprinting out of the dressing room for a split second.
Did you see which direction he was running to?
He looked like he was heading towards the stage. I even called his name, hoping he would respond, but he didn't say anything. I was really worried.
And that's when you started running after him.
Yes, I had to find out what the problem was. When I next caught sight of him, I
It
saw
was
that
an
he was at the
unintended
top of
pun,
the
I
stairs to the
guess.
catwalk. I was afraid he would trip because it was so dark, so I turned on the safety lights to make sure he was safe.
Right. She said that earlier, and that's why the safety lights were turned on during the crime. So, when you ran up the stairs to the catwalk, was there anything that you saw that struck you as strange?
It's not
Strange?
exactly what I
Everything.
saw that caught my attention. It's what I heard.
What did you hear, defendant?
While running up the stairs, I heard a loud clang from above.
Hold it! How loud exactly would you say it was?
Loud.
Loud, actually. I'm sure that the others who were near the stage would have heard it too.
That's right. Playwright said he heard the same thing in his testimony. I thought Miss Polomare knocked out the victim with the railing. Could it have been something else? She also mentioned it in her testimony, after all. How did you react to the noise?
It startled me. It made me even more worried for Overall. I had to see what was going on up there.
What did you see when you got to the top?
When I reached the top of the catwalk, I saw Suri looking over the edge with a special fabric in her mouth.
Hold it! You saw Miss Polomare?
I recognized her the instant I saw her. I never thought I would ever see her again after quitting as her assistant.
Do you recall her reaction to seeing you?
She looked very shocked. In fact, she looked just as shocked to see me as she did when she was staring over the edge of the catwalk.
Oh.
Did you see her holding anything other than the fabric?
No, all she had was a rolled up fabric. I didn't see anything else.
What about her scarf? Did you see it?
I did, and it was securely wrapped around her neck. There's no way she could have taken it off and put it back on so quickly. I'm sure of it.
Okay, wait. Wow, this is the difference between playing the game and watching a YouTube video. With the game, I can just press the button when I want to, but when it just goes on, you don't want to miss any detail. It's hard, but yeah, let's see. Episode 1's audio and episode 2's audio were recorded 4 years apart, so that's one reason. Development hell unusually hard, since everyone, not just the voice actors, are more skilled now. And we can hear that and see that. It's amazing. I will, after we end this, and I can see that there's a lot left behind. I will get back to some parts that were especially great. But yeah, let's see. Coco is just saying that she could not have taken her scarf off.
And just to confirm, the special fabric was rolled up and used to knock you unconscious.
Yes, it was rolled up.
This has already been established. You're just poking holes into your own theory now.
You're not doing anything, Blue Blood.
And what about Overall? Where was he?
Well, he wasn't anywhere.
What do you mean?
When I got to the top of the catwalk, all I saw was Suri. Overall was nowhere to be seen.
He was already hanging out somewhere.
Miss Pomel, are you suggesting that Overall just disappeared?
I don't know. I was confused too. But that's what I saw. He wasn't on the catwalk at all.
Well, this throws a wrench into my theory. If Overall wasn't on the catwalk by the time Coco made it up there, that could only mean...
That could only mean that I was right. That overall concept was running after Suri. He missed a step, hit his head on the rail work, and has fallen over the rail, just to be accidentally caught up by the prepared hook on the rope. Really bad set of events and pure unluck.
You don't think that the victim had already been hanged by the time you got up there, do you?
Now that you mention it, I did hear the crowd panicking when I got to the top, and I'm sure whatever Suri saw gave her that expression when she looked down. It's possible she was looking at the body.
What? But how is that possible?
Oh.
Prince Blueblood, what's so funny?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor?
He lost it.
Defense has managed to disprove his own theory with his client's
Wow.
testimony.
He has?
Go on, filthy human. Say it. Admit that according to Miss Pomel's testimony, Miss Polomare cannot possibly be the killer, and as a result, the only other one it could be is the defendant.
Well, Mr. Wright, is that true? Do you have nothing left to support your own theory?
Watch, Your Honor. The attorney there will clearly opt to strike all of the defendant's testimony from the record.
Please, Mr. Wright, you have to believe me. I know everyone's Takeshy built, but it's all true.
This
I
crazy
swear.
sprite.
Blueblood's right. I could easily have this testimony discarded and go straight for a not guilty verdict. But Coco risked everything to bring this information to light. She must really believe that Miss Polomare is innocent. And given the testimony she's provided so far, it certainly seems to be the case. She's
The
trusting
sprites
me
are
to save
perfect, let's just
someone
say it
she
like
cares
that.
about. And I'm not about to betray that trust.
And they are used at the right time.
Your Honor, the defense will not have the defendant's testimony stricken from the record.
You won't? But that means...
Yes, we're accepting the defendant's testimony as truth.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Then, does that mean you have evidence to prove how Miss Polomare could have committed the crime under these new circumstances?
Nope.
No, Your Honor, we do not.
What? But wasn't she your prime suspect for the theft and the framing and the murder?
I do still believe that she stole the fabric and framed Coco.
Yep.
However, I am certain, based on Coco's testimony, that she was not the one who killed Overall Concept.
So they just tell the truth.
And what, pray
What
tell, do you
happened there?
think can prove your point? After all, there's nothing to suggest that the defendant is even telling the truth here, is there?
Talk about showing your hand. Blue Blood's clearly baiting me into presenting this evidence.
Blue Blood is not showing any
knows
hands.
what it will prove if
He
I
doesn't
do.
have. He has
But
hooves.
there's no way to go but forward. My only hope now lies with her.
Yep. It's all on Suri now. She has to tell the truth.
Your Honor, the defense would like to present a piece of evidence at this time. Evidence that will reveal the truth behind this incident once and for all.
Are you sure about this, Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Take that!
Isn't that the noose used in the crime?
Oh.
Earlier, we
I was
determined that
once
Miss
again
Polomare had
ahead
touched
of
the fabric
time.
roll by finding traces of fluorescent paint on it. Now,
It
what
will
do you
have
suppose
no
we'll find
fluorescent
if we
paint on it.
examine This with a forensics flashlight.
Well, if she's the culprit, I'd imagine there'd be traces of paint on the rope.
And if there isn't, then that would mean that she's innocent of this murder, correct?
Yep.
Yes, I suppose so. But do you know what you're doing, Mr. Wright?
Yep.
I couldn't be more certain, Your Honor.
Very well. Then please test the rope for fluorescent paint.
We are proving Suri's innocence as well. What?
There's no paint! There's no paint on the rope!
Foolish attorney! You've fallen right into my trap.
Nope. We didn't fall
Prince
into anything.
Blueblood, what do you mean?
Your Honor, as we've all seen, this rope has no fluorescent paint on it, which means that Miss Polomare cannot be the killer.
And
In which case,
that's what
the
we
only
wanted
other
to.
clue left as to the identity of the killer are the traces that were found on the rope.
The other traces?
If you recall, Your Honor, this rope had traces of glitter found around the noose.
Oh yeah, that's true.
right.
This must mean that someone who had glitter-covered hooves must have been the one to wrap the noose around the victim's neck. There were only 2 ponies who had the opportunity to do that after the victim was knocked out, and both of them would have had glitter on their hooves. Miss Pommel and Miss Polomare. However, now that we know that there was no paint on the rope, that rules out the witness, leaving the defendant as the only possible suspect.
Oh, that's right.
What? No! It wasn't me!
You know it wasn't
Silence,
you, though.
criminal. It's impossible for you to escape your punishment now. Isn't that right, defense?
Nope.
Objection! But Coco couldn't have used the fabric roll to knock the victim out. There's no way she could be the killer.
Objection! Just because she couldn't have knocked the victim out doesn't mean she can't be the killer.
Why not?
Have you already forgotten what your spiky-headed friend has already demonstrated?
Yep.
That Miss Polomare here was the one who knocked the victim unconscious by throwing him against the catwalk railing using her scarf.
No.
No, he's just crazy. He's not just a jerk.
After incapacitating the victim, likely because she was trying to stop him from catching her after stealing the fabric, Miss Pommel showed up on the scene and proceeded to hang the victim.
Objection! But Coco had cleaned off all the glitter on her hooves before going up the catwalk. Suri even testified that Coco had gone to do so.
Objection! However, she has not confirmed that the defendant did in fact have clean hooves when she arrived on the scene.
But...
It's the end of the line for you, defense. Am I wrong, Mr. Wright?
Nope. Not saying anything.
Alright, everything is going according to plan. Even though it's now clear who killed the victim, I think it's time we remove the last traces of doubt from the court's mind.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you
It
have
was
anything
Prince
that can
Blueblood.
refute the prosecution's claim?
I don't, Your Honor, but someone here does.
And who would that be, Mr. Wright?
Isn't it
Who
obvious?
as?
The one pony who can testify for certain exactly when Coco's hooves were covered in glitter. Suri Polomare!
What?
Yep.
You honestly think she's going to testify for you now? What a joke. You just accused her of a murder she never even committed.
And then cleared it.
Why in Equestria do you think she would want to help you?
And not me.
Suri, you've always believed that it's every pony for themselves in the big city, right? And yet, as we've just seen, Coco put her own life on the line to protect you. She saved you from being charged with a murder you didn't commit. Now, it's your turn to save her.
My turn?
Yep.
Yes, if you confess to everything you did that night, and everything you saw, it will prove Coco's innocence beyond all doubt.
Confess.
I've done everything I can to help Coco. And your testimony, your confession, is the last piece I need to completely prove her innocence. However, you must tell the truth this time. We aren't going to get another shot at this.
And we all know how bad it is when
Please,
one
Suri.
piece is missing from the puzzle.
You. You'll do the right thing. I know it.
You trust me?
I do.
Yep.
Enough of this.
Because ponies
melodrama.
are naive creatures
The
like
game
that.
is up, attorney. She is not going to testify for.
Fine then. I confess.
What?
What are you confessing to, witness?
The framing
Confess
and everything.
to stealing the fabric and attacking Coco.
You're admitting that it was you?
Silence yourself. You're going to ruin my.
Shut up! I don't care about your case, okay? I'm gonna tell the whole truth of that night, whether you want me to or not.
Will none of you treat me with the respect I deserve?
No,
I
yeah.
am Prince Blueblood, nephew of.
Witness, I hope you realize that these are not minor offenses you are confessing to.
Yeah, we know.
I am well aware, Your Honor, but I refuse to just stand by and let Coco take the blame for this murder.
Suri!
Don't misunderstand me. I've not been moved by your sentimental pleas for help.
Not at all.
I don't want to have to owe you or that attorney any favors in the future.
Of course.
Of course, yep.
Well then, witness, please proceed with your confession.
That night, I went to the theater of my own volition. I was there to steal the fabric, as Mr. Wright predicted, and yes, I attacked Coco in the process.
But the fabric's existence was only known to Coco, Overall, and Playwright, and those whom they told. How did you come by this knowledge?
The latter.
I can't say.
Why not?
Look, I just can't, okay? Don't ask about it anymore, or I will be withdrawing my confession.
Very well. Although I can't help but be curious. So, what exactly happened after you entered the theater?
I went to the theater through the back door, just like you said, and made my way to the dressing room. There were two ponies in there, Coco and Overall. I kept my eyes on the room and the surrounding area, waiting for an opportunity to take the fabric. After Coco left the room, I hid behind a curtain so that I would not be seen. Overall was still in there, but I figured this would be the best chance I had to steal the fabric.
Oh.
I waited until his back was turned and then entered the room. I quietly picked up a wooden roll that was sitting on the table and began rolling up the fabric that had been left out.
I see. But to actually manage to sneak in and roll up the fabric, something else must have captured Overall's attention. Something to keep him occupied long enough to allow for Suri to do what she did. I doubt she would have been successful otherwise. But what could it have been? So, what happened next?
I managed to roll the fabric up unnoticed, but Overall noticed me as I was leaving and he started chasing me. I bolted for the back door, but I noticed Coco Polomare coming back to the dressing room. Before she had a chance to see me, I went straight for the catwalk, hoping that Overall would be slow climbing up so that I could escape. The lights came on as I turned the corner, but I paid them no mind and kept running. As soon as I reached the end of the catwalk, I heard a loud bang behind me. And when I looked back, Overall was just gone.
That lines up with what Coco said.
But he was just chasing you. How could he have just disappeared like that?
I was just as
He is a
lost as you
magician.
are. I was happy that he wasn't chasing me anymore, but that noise worried me. So I went back to see what had happened. I started hearing screams of terror from the audience. With my worries growing, I looked down and what I saw was Overall's body hanging from the catwalk.
What in the...
What?
Yep. Just as we thought, an accident.
Order! Order, I say! Witness, are you saying that the victim was hanged during your chase?
Yes.
It sounds crazy, I know, but that's what I saw. I was about to run for the back door before the police had a chance to arrive, but as I was looking down at the body, Coco had come up on the catwalk as well. I was freaking out. She was wondering where Overall was, and she started moving towards me. I didn't know what to do, and I was too afraid of being caught stealing his fabric and possibly being seen as a killer. So I took the fabric roll and I swung it as hard as I could on Coco's head and knocked her out.
Yep, that happened.
This cannot be.
It was at that point that a certain thought occurred to me. I can use this. I can frame her. Get back at her for everything.
What? So you really were trying to plant the whole thing on the defendant?
Yep.
Coco and that prissy unicorn Rarity. They both ruined me. I was seen as a cheater in the fashion world. I was
But you
humiliated.
was a
I
cheater.
wanted payback. So I removed the fabric from the roll as I was still intending on keeping it. However, in my haste to remove the fabric, I accidentally tore a piece of it off in the process.
How did you do that?
I think the answer to that question would be because of the exposed splinters on the fabric roll. Correct?
Yep.
You got it. A bit of the fabric got caught on a splinter and tore off as I unwrapped it. I tried to catch it before it fell, but it was too late. Luckily, it went unnoticed thanks to the panic as a result of the hanged body. Once I had the fabric off the roll, I shook off some of the glitter onto Coco's hooves and placed the fabric roll itself between them.
That would explain why the glitter left on the catwalk was in a pile. You quickly dropped it in one place instead of wasting precious time by spreading it about.
Little fun fact for the audio. Your audio engineer Soundman put a reference to the first episode in Suri's confession. Confession? Hi Nicholas, welcome. We are nearly at the end, by the way. I remember some strange audio clue in the first episode when we met Suri. I will need to go back and start from the beginning after this, that's for sure, to check everything. It's the music. The music playing now is the opening cutscene music, where the body is seen. Oh. I would not have caught that if you didn't say it.
That's right. After I had covered both Coco's hooves and the fabric roll in glitter, I placed the roll in Coco's hooves to complete the picture that Coco had attacked and hung the victim. Finally, I fled down the left side of the catwalk and left the building.
Leaving a trail of footprints and fluorescent paint behind you for us to find.
I didn't even know that
And now
paint
back
was
to
on the
anime.
fabric in the first place. I only found out when it was brought up during this trial. I didn't really pay attention to what Coco and Overall were working on in the dressing room, and the lights were on when I stopped running on the catwalk. I was completely unaware I had left any prints. Even after I got home, I wasn't aware of the paint. The rain must have washed it off my hooves and the fabric.
And this is the full truth this time, right, witness?
Yes. Every last thing I saw and did that night.
That sounded more like the crossover music. Maybe it's similar. Most of the Phoenix Wright musics are kinda similar. You can tell it's Phoenix Wright most of the time. But I think that was Layton. Maybe not.
So there, Mr. Wright, you have my confession. I stole the fabric, attacked Coco, and framed her for murder. Now the ball's in your court to save her.
Yep.
Very well. Thank you for your cooperation, Miss Polomare.
Don't lose any sleep over it.
As much as I hate to be the bearer of bad news to you all, this proves nothing. The defendant is still the only one who could have committed the crime.
Nope.
Objection!
It's a
Then you
big
must not have been listening
objection.
to the confession at all, Prince Blueblood. If you had been, it should be clear that there's no way Coco was responsible for this.
Explain then, if you can.
According to the confession that was just given, not only was Coco not even on the catwalk when the victim was hanged, but Miss Polomare herself admitted just now that it was
defendant's
she who covered the
confession.
defendant's hooves in glitter.
No!
And since that's the case, then it's impossible for Coco to have been the one to leave the traces of glitter on the noose. That in conjunction with her exact whereabouts at the exact time of the murder should prove beyond any doubt that Coco Pommel is innocent.
No! No!
Yes. Yes.
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, you...
Objection! This is impossible! Human, if neither pony could have murdered Overall, then who are you proposing is the true culprit?
The
There
true
was
culprit
no one
is the
else on that
catwalk.
catwalk who could have done it?
I'm certain about that.
Huh?
Aren't you forgetting someone? One other pony that was on the catwalk at the time of the crime.
No! You can't be serious!
Mr. Wright, are you suggesting...
It seems as though we finally arrived at the truth, as much as I don't want to believe it, or even fully understand why. This is the only possibility left.
Don't say suicide.
I am, Your Honor.
Phoenix, you aren't going to...
The one responsible for taking the victim's life was the only other pony who was at the crime scene when he was hanged. And that, of course, would be the victim himself. Overall concept!
What the...
Hello?
What the hello? you couldn't say the last word.
Order,
Yep, I
order
see
in the
that.
court! Mr. Wright, have you completely lost your mind? Are you suggesting that the victim committed suicide?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection! Are you crazy? There is nothing in the evidence or testimony that suggests suicide.
I have to agree here, Phoenix. Murder is already rare enough in Equestria, but suicide? That's entirely unheard of!
I figured as much. But despite how improbable it may be, it's the only logical conclusion
No, it's
I can think of
not.
that can solve this case.
Logical? How can you even call
What the
this
hello?
logical? You have a good explanation for this, human.
I may start using that
Although I can't
from
claim
now
to know
on.
why the victim would do this, I can't hazard a guess to what happened that night. Overall concept after chasing Miss Polomare up to the catwalk grabbed the rope that was prepared by the stagecoach during intermission. Wrapping it around his neck, he jumped over the railing to his death. We've
Why
heard
would he do
testimonies
that?
from both defendant and witness, and together They prove rather conclusively that Overall was the only other one on the catwalk at the time of the crime. If neither of them could have done it, then it could have only been the victim himself.
Objection! Your delusions have utterly ruined your sense of reason, human. Time to bring you back to reality. The victim was unconscious due to a blow to the head at the time of his death. Are we meant to believe that he committed suicide while he was unconscious?
Yes?
Of course not. But we may have made an incorrect assumption regarding this blow to the head.
What do you mean?
We all came to the conclusion that the victim was unconscious because he was knocked out by someone. But that's where we were wrong. It wasn't because he was attacked. He was knocked unconscious after hitting his head against something as he was falling.
What?
What could the victim have even hit his head on?
Might I suggest he hit the back of his head on the catwalk railing? He must have not jumped far enough and received a pretty nasty bruise as a result, which knocked him unconscious.
How outrageous! And I suppose you have something to support that claim?
The clang that Suri, Coco, and Playwright heard. It was the sound of the victim's head colliding with the railing.
I agree with that part, but I don't think he jumped.
Objection! You can't be serious, human! This theory of suicide is completely baseless. I demand to see real, physical evidence that points to this ridiculous assertion being the truth.
I have it right here. Take that!
Yes?
The autopsy report? Does that prove anything?
Right here, where it says the victim had traces of glitter on his forehooves.
So
Oh.
what? That doesn't
that-
prove any...
I was about to ask where did the
Prince
glitter
Moonlight,
come
what's
from?
the matter?
On the rope?
Finally realized the truth, Your Honor. As we've established, there are traces of glitter around the noose. The two ponies who were most likely to have left glitter on it could not have done so. The lack of fluorescent paint clears Ms. Polomare, and the noose had already been thrown off the catwalk by the time the defendant arrived. Not to mention, Ms. Polomare admitted that she was the one who coated Coco's hooves in glitter after the victim died. Therefore, there was only one other pony who could have left glitter on the noose. The only other pony who had traces of glitter on his hooves and went up the catwalk at the time of the crime. Overall concept!
Objection!
I object to that as well.
Yet, you still haven't explained why the victim would take his own life. He was living happily and was even planning to propose to the defendant. And on top of all of that, if he was planning on committing suicide, why do it in the middle of a play in front of thousands of ponies in the audience?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
You don't have an answer, do you? I knew it.
You're right. I don't have an answer why the victim decided to commit suicide. But that's not something that needs to be determined here and now.
What?
That's
The
true.
purpose of this trial was to ascertain whether or not the defendant, Coco Palmel, was guilty of the murder of Overall Concept.
Did you really just do that? Phoenix Wright actually knows that it's not his work, not his job, to ascertain why things happened and what happened. His job is to ascertain that the defendant is not guilty. That's not happening in any Ace Attorney games, that's for sure.
Through the testimony and evidence that's been presented, I'd say the answer to that question has been made abundantly clear by now. As for why the victim chose to end his own life, I'd say that's up to the police to investigate and discover the truth behind that mystery.
He is right, but this is gonna be annoying if he...
As much as I share everyone else's confusion, I have to agree with the defense.
What? You're actually going along with this?
Wait, it has technically happened once before, the cosmic turnabout. The case ends with the with no killer admitting their guilt, and the defendant is cleared. Yeah, but that's a different type of reason why it happened.
There is simply no other explanation, I'm afraid. I would like to request that the police continue their investigation in order to uncover further information regarding this supposed suicide. As for Suri Polomare, you will be placed under arrest for perjury, theft, and tampering with the crime scene.
Whatever. It sure beats getting sent to the moon. Just make sure that sentence isn't too long. I have dresses to work on, okay?
Well, Mr. Wright, even in another world, you haven't lost your knack for taking a seemingly ordinary murder case and turning it onto its head. Not bad for your first time back in Equestria, I must say.
Oh, thanks, Your Honor.
Thanks, but I would love the people not mess with the dogs. I'm sorry about that. You probably can hear them. There are people over, and they are just making the dogs bark a lot. You can hear them. I'm sorry about that. I can see my mic going on and off all the time. First I'll turn about reclaimed. Wait, which is reclaimed? I don't usually remember the titles of the episodes. There are actually a lot of episodes, lot of cases in Ace Attorney. I mean, yeah, there are at least 50. Wait, I have played at least 25 cases. One with the Orca. Oh, I didn't play I didn't play that one. That's the DLC case. I didn't play the DLC case. That's why I didn't know that. Dude, we are on a break. The fact you are reviewing our series is enough for us. You don't mind minor issues like dogs barking. I do mind. And I haven't said too many things. It just means the things that are that the characters are saying are interesting, and you have to look out for it. I just don't have time to speak. Even if I do, by the time I say it, it's all over. There is a lot that I definitely missed in this, but and I'm still not happy with this turnout, that we don't know what happened. But I'm sure in the last 20 minutes we will see the letter, and that might be the reason, because now we know that Suri did not meet Coco. Actually, she was hiding behind the curtains. Suri saw Coco, but Coco didn't see Suri until the catwalk incident. Felix did his job. He got acquitted of Coco, and the suicide theory is undeniable. That's true, at least for now. Maybe it will be revealed in later cases, or maybe now. I hope now. But let's see.
I can't tell if he's complimenting me or calling me out.
Still, sometimes I wish you would stop for a moment. I'm an old man. I don't know how much more of this my heart can take.
Yes. Sorry, Your Honor. Okay, maybe he is calling me out.
Yep, that's...
But as of right now, I think it's time I hand down my verdict in the case of Miss Pomel.
No! No!
Yes.
How can I lose? How can I lose to this hairless ape? A perfect win streak! No!
have a question. Isn't Prince Blueblood... Isn't this the first case for Prince Blueblood? There's an after credit scene. I always watch until the very end of the video. Obviously, I include the credits as well. So I don't remember. Isn't this the first acquittal case of Prince Blueblood? Isn't this his trial case? Oh, he's handled many cases before this one in episode 2. So yeah, oh yes, I know that Phoenix was in the first Elements of Justice or Turnabout Storm, and then he went back to his own games. After that, a lot of time has passed. During that, the Joica system that is implemented in Equestria is still ongoing, so I guess that makes sense that Blueblood would, or at least some ponies would actually be the prosecutors. Okay, that makes sense.
We won!
And what a bumpy ride this trial was.
In the case of Miss Coco Pamel, I find the defendant...
He's the rookie killer. He did? Okay, I can actually answer his question. How could he have lost to this hairless ape if he is the rookie killer? He chose the wrong opponent. This is Phoenix Fight is not a rookie at all. They also mentioned that members of royalty need to handle court cases in order to gain experience in upholding the law. Incompatible blood. I think he would. He actually would eat the confetti. Seeing how crazy he is.
Court is now adjourned.
We won the case, maybe? Yep.
Whoa, now that was an ending I certainly didn't expect.
But you still managed to pull through. Congrats, boss. And you too, Twilight.
I almost forgot that you were here as well.
Thank you so much.
But no, they were
You
in the
saved Coco.
audience all the
All in a
time.
day's work, Rarity.
Woo! Daddy wins the case once again. But of course, is there ever any doubt?
Trucy, there's no need to shower me with praise. Honestly.
But it's true. I can never count you out in trial. And you sure taught that prince not to underestimate you in there.
It was so satisfying seeing him fall apart. Especially after going after my dear Coco. Oh, here she comes now.
Oh, I thought Suri comes here.
Hello there, Coco.
Coco! Congrats on getting your acquittal, dear.
Yeah, she's still not
very
that
good.
happy.
I'm very glad. Oh? Then why the long face, darling?
Why?
Well, I'm happy that I'm off the hook, but I'm still sad about Overall passing away. Especially now that I know how he really died. How could he just do that to himself? Was something hurting him? Was it me?
It's even
Miss
worse
Pamel?
now that we assume that
Yes?
it's suicide.
I've studied analytical psychology, so I want to give you my opinion. You are absolutely not responsible for what happened to Overall.
You can't know that!
You mentioned earlier in the trial that Overall had a bout of depression following the death of his parents, right?
Well, yes. But that was years ago. And he never seemed upset once we started living together.
It's not uncommon for someone to have periods of depression separated by years where they feel and act perfectly normal. I think overall may have been suffering from it without anyone realizing. Granted, we can't know for sure, but that's what I
Wow.
think anyway.
This is harsh coming from Athena.
He probably
Because we know her backstory.
That couldn't be farther from the truth, Coco. Remember this ring Overall was going to propose to you with? He clearly was at his happiest when he was with you. It's true, we may not know his true reasons for ending his own life, but I know that you were not the reason.
But I could have done something about it. Maybe I should talk to him more. Probably been more involved with his designs. If only I didn't leave the dressing room, he would have stayed alive. If only I.
Hey, calm down.
Calm down indeed. By the way, have you watched Operation Turnabout? No. I don't think so. If it's not on this channel, that I have not watched it. So that means that obviously I didn't. Might be added onto the list. That was my mouse disconnecting and reconnecting for some reason. Blueblood should have faced Athena instead to fill the role. Compared to both Phoenix and Apollo, she is still green. No, she is yellow. I'm sorry, but yeah, we know we have the red ape, the blue hedgehog, and the yellow canary in this game. But if Athena would have faced the prince, Blueblood, she would have thrown her with her judo toss. In one of the cases, that's for sure. She would just walk up to him and just throw him. If she got angry at him.
Huh?
Take a breather. You'll hurt your vocal cords yelling like that.
Okay.
Listen, you shouldn't blame yourself for Overall's death. There was nothing you could have done.
Wait, stop. Did you do that on purpose? I have to ask. Giving up on that line, that you will hurt your vocal cords yelling like that. You guys are gonna break me. I need to calm down a little bit. I mean, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Coco doesn't have the gods of steel, but still.
But if only you were with him the entire time, then he would have.
But it happened anyway. I understand what you're going through. You thought you could have done something to prevent losing a loved one. But the entire situation was beyond your control. You shouldn't put the burden on yourself. You'll never be able to live in the present if you stay in the past.
I just realized it. Everyone in the Phoenix Wright universe lost someone dear to them. Oh my goodness. All of the prosecutors. All of the... not all of the prosecutors, but all of the attorneys lost someone dear. Very close. Most Athena and Apollo sections where they speak to Coco and are both tailored to them specifically. Oh, yes. Well, Phoenix's case is a little bit different because he has Maya who can channel all of them, all of the lost ones, when she wishes so. But Vincent Penny is living a good life. Is he though? Wait, it depends on which pain are you talking about? Because I'm pretty sure all of the pains, Gaspen pain, Winston pain, Ouchie, all of the generations of Winston pain are having drinking habits after meeting with Phoenix Wright and his gang. But Athena still couldn't handle the cremator. Gaspen pain, unlike Winston, he did use dirty tricks. His brother Winston. Yeah, but he still lost his toupee. And his
Besides, in some way, your friend still lives on.
What do you mean?
He may be gone, but his spirit isn't. He was a teacher to you, right? If you learned from him, you're allowing his techniques to live on as well. So in some way, he's always with you.
Of course. Overall was teaching you his ways, and I know you've learned so much from him.
They are
Now it's up to you to carry on his
forgetting
legacy.
one thing.
Even though he's gone, I know you'll make sure he is never forgotten.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
He
Really?
wasn't only a
And,
teacher to her.
What are your names?
I'm Apollo Justice.
And I'm Athena Sykes.
Thank you. All of you, thank you so much. I think I feel a little better now. But I don't know how I could possibly live up to Overall's expectations. He always made sure his designs were perfect. And now that he's gone, all of his assets go to me, including his sketches for new designs. He'll be his final pieces of work and they look fantastic. But once it's my turn to design something, I don't know how I could possibly make something of that caliber on my own, compared to somebody who played such a big role in the theater industry. I don't know if I'm good enough to do it.
Aww.
Actually, Coco, you're more talented than you'd let yourself believe.
Oh, I was like, wait, who is speaking?
Lyric, what are you doing
Even though
here?
the name was there.
I just wanted to apologize for thinking that you were the one who killed Overall.
It's quite alright, sir. I was the only one up there after all.
I know, but this human proved otherwise. Coco, I know you think you may not reach Overall's expectations, but I believe you'll do fine. You were under his wing, after all.
Towards the end.
But sir, he was so much more skilled than me. I don't see.
Miss
But it's still
Pommel,
nice to see
I
you,
need
Claire.
you to listen to me.
Hmm?
During this trial, I've seen that perfection isn't always the best thing to aim for. While it's nice that you can believe that you can achieve something great, the sacrifices you make to get there aren't always worth it. In fact, it may have been partially my fault for Overall taking his own life.
Wait, what?
Why?
Did he
I
send
was
the
so
letter?
obsessed with making my plays perfect that I never realized how I've often mistreated my staff members. Without a doubt, this applies to both you and Overall. I was a terrible leader. So, from now on, instead of striving for perfection, I will do my best to achieve something greater that all of us can be proud of. Not just for me and you, but for the rest of the staff as well.
Playwright,
Overall told me time and time again that your skills had even surpassed his own. In fact, when he came on stage during intermission that night, he wanted to talk to me about letting you design costumes for the show after the next. He said that it was time that your own work became known and that this was a perfect opportunity. At the time, I said I'd think about it, but admittedly I was going to reject his request. However, that's all changed now.
Obviously,
In
because
honor of Overall's last wish to me, I hereby promote you, Miss Pommel, to head costume designer for Broadway Theater.
he has no other choice.
Oh, sir, thank you. I will do my best
Oh,
to make
that's
sure that
cute.
my designs will be the best they can be.
I'm sure you will. That twinkle in your eye, you're really just like Overall, you know? Come on, let's get back to the theater.
Did Overall
I
have
want
the
to make
twinkle
sure the staff
in his
knows
eye
you
as
were
well?
all right.
Of course, sir. We still need to make some costumes for the next play anyway. And I certainly will have my own ideas to implement.
That's the spirit, darling. And once you do design
I actually
some of
didn't
your own
notice that
clothes,
he
I'd be
mispronounced
happy
it
to sell them in my store
in the
for you.
beginning.
I could even use some of Overall's special fabric as inspiration for my next clothing line, if you'll allow me to have some.
Of course, Rarity. Anything for a dear friend. Well, see you later, every pony.
And there they go.
Everyone left.
What's wrong, Twilight?
Oh, it's nothing. I'm just glad to see Coco so happy.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Coco happy as well, but it's a strange change of feelings so fast. Yeah, my friend just died. He was about to marry me, but yeah, I'm the head designer now. Let's just say they took her attention elsewhere. But she will remember this much later.
Yeah. I know, right? I can hear a lot of happiness coming from her. Playwright did a great job cheering her up. I can hear lots of happiness from him as well.
I must confess, I've actually never seen Playwright this happy before.
Really?
You see, Playwright hasn't always been in the best of moods. At least whenever I visited the theater.
Well, he did say that he's always been striving for perfection. I can only imagine the emotional stress he puts himself in, day out.
It did. His never-ending desire to
Yeah,
achieve
perfection.
made him so stubborn and short-tempered. And it put the staff under a lot of stress. I was very upset with how unfairly he treated every pony.
Being the element of generosity, I can understand why that would upset you.
But this is the first time he considered the well-being of others. He was only ever remotely happy when he thought he was close to perfection.
He was not
I've never
even
seen
close
him
to
show this
perfection
much
at all.
sympathy for any pony else.
Showing sympathy to others is an easy way to let them know that we care about what happens to them. Bringing negative emotions to your peers will only spread more negativity, and that leads to an unhealthy environment. This tragedy must have given him that revelation.
He looked like a very different pony, and I'm happy that he's changed for the better.
And Coco seems to be a lot stronger, too.
And I'm so proud of her for that. Now she's off to forge her own path. I can't wait to see what else she has to offer the fashion world.
Yep, it seems as if everyone is moving on to bigger and better things.
Everyone?
Although I can't help but feel a little unsatisfied with the way the trial ended.
Yes.
Unsatisfied? What do you mean?
Well, there were still some unanswered questions at the end of it all. The most notable one being, why did Overall Concept take his own life?
Yep.
That's something I can't begin to fathom. Overall was certainly a very happy individual. Even with depression possibly being a factor, his life seemed to only be getting better and better. With his fame, job, and even some pony he cared enough about to want to propose to them, he never seemed like the kind of pony to even consider suicide.
It makes me wonder, too. But unfortunately, there's no clear answer. Let's hope that the police can investigate further and find out the truth soon.
I suppose. But hey, you showed that prissy prince who's boss. I definitely enjoyed myself seeing his face as he smelled defeat.
Yeah, he's quite the character, isn't he? Oh, that reminds me. Twilight, I have a question for you.
What is it, Phoenix?
You said that Prince Blueblood was prosecuting for experience when he can rule a kingdom, correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
And as princess, you're able to stand in court as an attorney as well, correct?
Yes.
Then why did you summon me?
What I'm trying to understand is, why did you feel the need to summon me when it seems as if you could have handled this whole situation yourself?
Huh?
I know you're capable of doing it. You saved me quite a few times in court today. You've clearly been studying law for a while now, even if this is your first real time practicing it. In fact,
didn't you say that ponies who are of royalty need experience in upholding the law? Considering you're a princess, doesn't that technically mean you have an obligation to represent Miss Pommel?
Oh, well,
Especially you are the
it's-
princess of
When
friendship.
Rarity told me the story, I didn't exactly have a lot of time to think about who would represent Coco, so I just summoned you.
That doesn't really make sense, Twilight. Summoning me would have meant you would have had to gone through the trouble of getting an equestrian attorney's badge ready again. Also, the one accused of murder is a friend of your friend, and considering you're the princess of friendship, that's more of a reason to take on the case yourself. You did say that you've been studying law ever since you became a princess. The more I think about it, the less I understand it. If you appear so capable of taking on a case, why did you feel the need to summon me?
I wanted to see you. Mental blocks? Yep. 5 of them.
What?
Cyclops, sorry.
Cyclops?
What's wrong, Phoenix?
Nothing. Forget I asked. What does this mean? What is Twilight trying so hard to hide from me?
Hi, Beanie.
Oh! Hi,
Where in the world did
Pinky.
you come from, Pinky?
Ask my parents, Feeny.
Hey, Pinky.
Hey, Trucy.
Oh, Pinky, where were you sitting in the gallery? I didn't see you.
I was with Fluttershy and Applejack, so she certainly wasn't
Oh.
with me.
Something we have to
She
check
wasn't
back?
with me, Apollo, or Trucy either.
I didn't see her.
Yeah, I was late. Late?
Again?
Really an important trial to us. I know Rainbow had some wonderful reserved business to attend to, but how could you possibly be late? I slept in.
Just the usual Pinkie Pie, don't question it.
I can't help it. I had one of those really fun dreams, and I didn't want them to stop. So I tried sleeping some more.
Doesn't this pony have a day job? How has she not been fired already?
Because she said...
Tom, I'm in the cheeky corner helping the cakes make cakes. And I'm also a party extraordinaire. So I help throw parties that'll shake your flank all night.
With the amount of energy it takes to party that hard, it makes sense that you sleep for so long.
So why did you come to us, Pinky?
Don't you remember, Feeny? My congratulations on winning the trial party.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you already have that party ready?
Yep, sure did. I already got the cakes, the drinks, the guests, and decorations ready. I even brought a DJ to the party too.
I wonder which DG.
Cakes, drinks, guests,
And decorations? And even a DJ? This party is
I have a feeling that she didn't do a sleep.
This sounds
She
like a
was
very stacked
setting up the party.
When did you get everything prepared?
I got it prepared as soon as I woke up.
wow, that must have taken forever to prepare.
5 seconds.
It wasn't hard. I do this all the time.
Wait, hold on a second. I thought you slept in. How did you get the time to prepare a big party like that?
By doing it quickly, silly.
So then, when did you wake up?
A couple of hours ago.
Oh, wait. Doesn't it take a couple of hours to get to Manhattan from Ponyville?
Not for her.
But I thought you said you woke up a couple of hours ago.
Yes?
I sure did.
But that means the second you woke up
The party was
Fully
ready.
prepared a big party
and caught the train here.
in a matter of minutes?
Yep, sure sounds like it.
But that's...
How were you able to prepare a party that big in such a small span of time?
Don't question
I
it.
told you, Polly, by doing it quickly.
You are not gonna get a proper
What?
answer.
You'd be amazed at what this pink mare is capable of, Apollo.
She just has great work ethic, Polly. You could learn a thing or
It's
two
about
from her.
ethic.
Give me a couple hundred clients and maybe I'll consider taking lessons.
Boss, does this pink pony have time powers?
Yes.
There's no way she's capable of that.
Nah, that's just Pinkie Pie being Pinkie Pie. You better just get used to it.
But what does that even mean?
Just trust me on this. It's for your own sake.
As if this world isn't testing it enough.
Hey, Pinky! If you want, I'd like to have a magic performance at your party.
A human doing a magic show? That sounds exciting! I've always wanted to see a human do magic.
I'm the best magician in the city where I'm from. I can guarantee you all a good show.
Well, that sounds like it'll be a wonderful time.
I'm certainly looking forward to it. Hopefully, I don't get forced to dance until I throw my back out.
Now I want to see
everyone,
Trucy
Let's get to the party!
practicing
Right behind you, Pinky.
with some
And
pony.
as quickly as it started, the case came to a close. Pinky
Who is
threw a party
missing?
for all of us to celebrate, and it was actually very enjoyable. Like a little vacation, it was a nice change of pace from what I usually do after a trial. Fortunately, this little moment of sunshine and rainbows wouldn't last forever.
Oh,
Unbeknownst to us, something darker was lurking in the shadows of this colorful world. Something that teased at a broader mystery. And little did any of us realize that during our carefree celebration, that mystery would continue to unfold not too far from us. It's a mystery I won't soon forget, as it brought me to someone that I thought I would never see again. Someone who's a spitting image of a dear friend I knew a long time ago.
Rob Niar. Isn't it? It might be. Or it might be not. There is a lot left to uncover during this case. Is it gonna be like Phoenix Wright, the Ace Attorney series, where every case is linked together in some form, and at the end we will find out what happened in the first case? Don't answer it. It's it's a platonic question. But it sure sounds like that. Here's a clue. The music playing during Felix's final line is Mia's voice from the anime. There are lots of songs I don't recognize. Those are definitely from the anime. Routine could be a prosecutor in the next case. If Bluebird had the role of Pain, I'm almost sure that he won't appear as prosecutor again. Yeah, not after he lost to the Hellas Ape. I hope for Trixie, but I'm not certain that she will be coming back soon yet. If it's the princes and princesses who are taking the cases, then it can be Luna. Probably won't be. And this is our other credit scene. That's a rear guard.
Knock knock, rise and shine, inmate. Guess what day it is?
Execution day?
That's right. As of today, you're a free mayor.
Oh. Who is?
It must feel nice to finally be out after 8 months, huh?
I don't know that pony.
Right, well, you're lucky that human defense attorney proved that you didn't murder any pony. You probably would have been banished to the mood if you hadn't. As for your possessions, just these. You
Oh!
back in the courtroom.
Sonata.
Well, this is it. But before you leave, I want to ask you something. Now that you're out, what are you gonna do?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to help those that need it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like he did for me.
Wait. Okay, stop. No, don't start the first case again, please. Let's go back just a second. In the last
After a trial.
moments. Something darker was lurking in the shadows on this colorful world. Something that teased at the broader mystery. And little did any of us realize that during a carefree celebration, that mystery would continue to unfold. Not too far from us. It brought me to someone that I thought I would never see again. So it is referring to Sonata. And that's you, voicing the god. Okay, let's hear Team speak again. Why not?
Knock knock! Rise and shine, inmate. Guess what day it is?
And that's why you requested me as a voice play during this line. And you know why I said I don't realize who this is? In this, yeah, we could guess it, but here, you can see my mouse, right? I thought this is a goatee. I thought it's a male pony in the first scene right here. That's why I didn't realize it's not at the first second. Yeah, we have memes taking this road to the moon and back. Did you guess by the glasses? No, I guessed before the glasses. At least I realized it before the glasses.
Nice to finally be out after 8 months, huh?
In the next scene, when it turns around.
Lucky that human defense attorney proved that you didn't murder any pony. You probably would have been banished to the mood if you hadn't.
In this line, I could see it was the hairline, not the goatee. That's why I realized it's her. Larry Butts pony. Please no. That would hurt. But yeah, the next case is gonna be something about Sonata, and we are gonna wait a long time. That probably because it's still in the making, if I'm right. But yeah, I have to applaud to all of them, all of the voice actors. They improved a lot. It is maybe, but not really. There was one line especially in Phoenix. I probably won't find it. Maybe this one?
He can't have anything.
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Miss Polomare.
No,
I do
it
have the
wasn't
evidence
this
that
one.
proves that you were the guilty party, and it's.
But no, there were amazing voice lines in all of this. Let's just put some background music. Why not? No. Have you seen the trailer? Which trailer? The ending? I have seen this. The trailer to Elements of Justice. Wait, there is a new trailer? Let me see here fast. Not new. The trailer? I don't think I've seen it. No, I actually don't want a hint. It's gonna be just I just say a surprise. They showed all the locations. Oh, this one. This is a trailer, right? I have not seen it. I actually not have seen it. You know what? Sure. Let's watch it together. At the end, why not? You have already started to make theories about the next case. That's one thing to do. At this, I have to agree with Twilight at the end. That there is a little bit of unsatisfactory ending in this. That we didn't get all the answers. And I know why you did that. Yes, you can definitely share those theories while we are checking the trailer. And let me just set this up. There we go. If you don't want me to tell you the name of the next case so you can be surprised, you will probably not want to see the trailer. I mean, it's fine. It's gonna be a long time, so I will probably forget most of the things. I have to tell you, before I started this, I watched part 2 again. I watched part 2 with double speed. Just to get the facts right. Because it was a long time ago since I watched, when it was let's see, it was like 3 days after it was released. Trailer doesn't have the name of the case, but it does have the location of the case it will take to place it. I mean, sure. I just watch it. I will definitely forget about this by the time it's gonna come out. There are many different kinds of words out there. Once in a blue moon, words can even intertwine with each other. It is time for that blue moon to blur again. Phoenix Wright versus Mighty Pony.
Objection!
Is that really Phoenix Wright returns?
Sent back here again.
Oh.
It looks like my friends here need my help. I guess guess this time I'm not the only one who was sent here.
Joining everyone.
Objection! The power of psychology will bring a breath of fresh air into the legal system.
Objection! I always say that on stage. You should hit the crowd with speed and veracity.
Objection! No matter what the truth is that's waiting ahead, I won't be afraid.
Wow, we can hear the difference a lot.
So, did you try to summon the greatest defense attorney in Equestria again?
No, I just simply summoned Phoenix Wright.
So, Twilight, why did you summon me?
Oh, that's right. You see, I need your help.
Oh. Everywhere. But this time with a brand new look. Oh yeah, everyone will have their own things. Athena's emotional system was really a strange thing to introduce in the Phoenix Wright games. That's for sure. That was the least Attorney-y. Objection!
I'll make sure to find the truth of all this. And once I do that, this world will become peaceful again.
Wait, that's how we should say it? My Teresa Attorney?
All your time.
Oh.
You are free to go.
That was a different guard. First accused. Okay, let's see. Let's read back. Terry doesn't have the name, okay? It's the name of the case plus all of the locations and some characters. That's true. That didn't say too much. It's a little bit of brain teaser. That's fine. It could have been anyone and any pony. But there were comments about next case, and somebody said about the possibility of the main series. I said it was Luna, but one person responded to me saying Luna couldn't take the case with CMC involved. Will there be CMC cases? Who knows? Well, the creators know, that's for sure. Who could be the next prosecutor? Who knows? You know the names of all 5 cases, but you won't say it. I thank you for that, because there might be changes. Makes sense. Well, there are not gonna be a change for Turnabout Theater. Because it's done. That was the final part of Turnabout Theater. It turned out right. And there are a lot of questions remaining. But one thing is sure. That we love the voice acting in this series. And we love the script as well. You have seen it as well. How much I enjoyed it. I was mostly just listening to it and concentrating on it. But also I just realized that why the hell is there so much. Let me just change a thing. Let's see. I think there is a lot of contrast in this scene. Yeah, this is the real thing that you can see. I'm sorry, I have no idea. Yeah, I have an idea why I have this on. But yeah, there is a lot of contrast. I'm sorry about that. Some were already changed, so they sounded better and they had more variety to the names overall. I would like to watch Operation Turnabout. Let's see. What is that? I'm not gonna watch it now. Turnabout. I'm gonna check how long it is. Oh, yes. I definitely won't watch it now, because it is an hour long part. Yeah, it's 7 hours to watch it fully. I might watch it. I will definitely watch it. I'm definitely gonna add it. Oh, wait. Weren't you the one that told me to watch this before? I have not had any time to do it yet, but it is on my list. As you can see, I'm already subscribed. I'm gonna save this playlist. There we go. That's what I missed last time. But yes, I will get back to this and watch it as well. At one point. I don't know if it's gonna be live or not. But it will definitely happen. Shall be waiting. I'm sorry for the wait. There was a lot of things I couldn't do, especially during these times. But then again, I have to say, big props to all the writers and the voice actors and everyone on the team, because it was really enjoyable. I was really just enclosed in it. I know I was shouting a little bit. It was not because of the show, it was because I was running around all morning to get my papers to go back to work. But I was concentrating a lot of times. I couldn't even talk through it. As I said, that's the only problem with watching a playthrough. That you can just press the button whenever you want. I mean, I still have some of the Phoenix Fight games on my DS. It probably doesn't even work anymore. Poor DS is so old. But yeah, oh yeah, that's what I was about to see. Is there a scene when we can see the whole audience? I think there was. Hope to see what kind of plot twist you are gonna throw at us. I will definitely not watch it, not find it. This is the most same. But there was Omnia in the audience again. Is she attending all of them? I remember seeing her in the other part. I mean, wait, that makes sense that she wouldn't leave between the trials. And the witness testimony, okay, that's in the beginning.
Name and
Of course, it. I won't find it. I won't find it now. There it is. Yep, there is Omnia. I mean, yeah, it makes sense that she wouldn't leave. Wait. Isn't some ponies missing? Where is Rainbow Dash? Oh yeah, they said Rainbow Dash is with the Wonderbots Academy. Like, wait, someone else is missing. Also, where is Spike? Is Spike in the castle? Spike was at the castle. He didn't join helping Twilight. That's strange. I know he was at the castle, but I don't remember he had any other important mission to do. Yeah, they said that at the end. I think it was Rarity who said that. Yeah, I know that Rainbow Dash is at the Wonderbot. She has training, but what is your excuse? I'm not even sure. It happened like 10 minutes ago, and I already forgot. But again, everybody was amazing. Everybody had amazing performances.
Killed at the theater that night.
But that doesn't mean he was the only victim.
Some of the lies were actually amazingly sad. I mean, the whole Suri incident, how she is handling the whole case, and it feels through her voice that I am in charge, you shut up. Some of Phoenix's objections and hold-ons were on point as well, and one thing I'm amazed at is the order at the court from the judge actually holds power. It's the Spike hate, right? Pinky slapped in, and who cares about Spike? And obviously, we just don't have to speak about Prince Blueblood, do we? He was amazing doing the whole thing. especially with the breakdowns. When he went full cuckoo. Well, someone needs to keep an eye on the castle since Series takes before Season 5 of MLP. Oh, it does? I actually care about Spike. I do. I do too. Hello, Chris. That's true. And Quill, you read my mind. Trixie needs to do a magic show with Trixie needs to do a magic show with Trixie. Oh yeah, it can be the other way around as well. Trixie can do a magic show with Trixie as well. I always felt like that they mistreated Trixie in the first episode. I know her personality is not the best. At least was not the best. She's better now, but we can be curious. Who is mistreated more, Trixie or Spike? But yeah, this was an amazing 2 hours. Well, it was 3 hours for me while I was live. I stopped at some points because some of the lines were really fastly developed. Some of the times when I wanted to say something, I just couldn't, and I didn't want to stop because it was a full monologue, and some of that felt like that it was recorded in one take. Some of them, in some lines we could hear that it was spliced together, but the other lines we could hear that it was just one take, that's all. Well, Trixie gave Felix that hat Trixie is wearing, so why not put a magic show together? Yep. And Trixie would definitely love to see Trixie. I'm mixing up the names. Trixie, wow, that's actually really close together. But yeah, Trixie would love to see Trixie, especially she would recognize the hat, and she's wearing a cape as well. That's the sign of a true magician. But yeah, I'm about to end. Again, big props to the whole team. The voice actors, the script writers, the animators, everyone. You all did a great job. Trixie and Trixie meeting is something a lot of people are asking for. Well, there is a reason for that. It's obvious that personal users are bringing close together. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'm gonna end it because I'm getting hungry, really hungry, and I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Even though I was not speaking too much, I was just in awe and just engrossed in the story. I will definitely rewatch this because there are a lot of things that I missed. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and thank you the team for joining me. And see you next time. Bye bye.